A very good morning to all of you. So, before we start off, one thing I would want to just tell, because we are online, uh, I don't support any political parties, I don't support any political ideologies, but I stand with the students who are protesting for the solidarity of education in India. Okay, because I am a person who believe that education is the solution to all problems in the world. Forget just India. Education is the solution to all problems in the world. Education will help us overcome poverty. Education will help us overcome discrimination. Education will help us overcome inequality. Education is the only solution for social harmony, okay, or global solidarity. So, education is something that you should not compromise. That is what I firmly believe. Any country, if they want to have a good future, they should have a very robust education. And that education should have a zero tolerance policy. That is, no one should tamper with it, because that is building the future of this nation. So, I firmly stand with the students, and I believe that education is something that we should not neglect or compromise in any circumstance, in any small way. So, with that, let us start off the class. And how was GS4, guys? Are you now enjoying GS4? Okay, you now feel that grip. Okay, so our aim is in the next 45 days. I think 15 days are done, so we have 45 days more to go. In the next 45 days, we should get the same grip, the same clarity in GS, other GS papers. Okay, now today we will do the GS1. It will not be about telling about the program at all. You already know how we are going to deal with the program. You people have attended the GS4. The idea for me to do the orientation session live on YouTube is because GS1 is a vast syllabus. 90% of people who are preparing for this exam in GS1 do not know how to approach GS1. They keep bulky materials and start reading it. I have seen that. Why? Because GS1 itself is very vast. Okay. So, please, if you're there in the program, if you're not there in the program, this day is very, very crucial for you to understand how to approach this paper. We are going to, finish all the three sections. First, we are going to look at society, then we are going to look at geography, and then we are going to look at history. Now, geography and history is where the syllabus seems to be very vast. How do we approach it, sir? It is so vast. Society, at least some people have tried to understand how to go about it, and they will go about doing it also. That is okay. But these two are the important sections where many people will try to, either they carry what they have studied from prelims and think that that is enough, or they are trying to do overly than what is actually required for the exam. So this is where you have to draw that fine balance. Okay, that is what we are going to do. All right. Very good morning, online guys. So let us start off. Okay. All right. So, as we did in the ethics paper, it is always very, very important that we go back and read the syllabus that is given in the original notification of UPSC for that particular paper, because you need to understand that first. And after understanding that, I will help you people to understand how to decipher it and approach the mains preparation. But first, let us just read out what exactly is given in the official notification of GS1. Okay, so we did the GS4. Okay. Let us talk about first, because they are given in an order, let us go in the same order. Overall, general studies has three sections. Indian heritage and culture and history, that is one section. Geography of the world is the second section. Society is the other section. Okay. Geography, you get 100 marks. Society, you get 75 marks. History, you get 75 marks. This is how the three sections are divided. Okay. All right. Now, first let us read out the history part. Look at this. The history part is Indian culture will cover the salient aspects of art forms, literature and architecture from ancient to modern times. Okay, this is where they cover the entire history here. Okay, so you need not always look at art forms, literature and architecture. I will show you that they have asked beyond the scope also. But what is very, very important here is the three words: art forms, literature and architecture. So whenever you go to any dynasty, let us say you go to Mauryans, or let us say you go to Guptas, let us say you go to Kadambas, let us say you go to Cholas, any dynasty you go, yes, you have to understand what is the significance of the dynasty or contribution of the dynasty to that particular ancient period. But second thing, you should also have an eye over art forms, literature and architecture, because they have explicitly mentioned it. You should have an eye over this. Okay. Anyways, so overall ancient modern India. So that is one. Next, sorry, ancient and medieval India. That is covered here. Next, modern Indian history from about the middle of the 18th century until the present, significant events, personalities and issues. Basically, this second bullet point is telling that you have to read modern India. First bullet point told ancient and medieval India. Second bullet point is telling modern India. Third one, within modern India, it is now segregating it as the freedom struggle. That is, its various stages and important contributions or contributors from different parts of the country. Again, both bullet points are talking about modern India. Next, post-independence consolidation and reorganization within the country. Okay, that is nothing but post-independence India. Next, history of the world will include events from 18th century such as Industrial Revolution, World Wars, redrawal of national boundaries, colonization, decolonization, political philosophies like communism, capitalism, socialism, etc., their forms and effect on the society. So overall, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You have 5 bullet points. You have 5 bullet points, but for this 5 bullet points, you have to read 6 books. Because these are not issue based bullet point that I will just Google this issue or I will prepare some questions on it and I will start answering it. These are 6 different subjects. You have ancient India, medieval India, modern India, and I am not adding art and culture. I am assuming that art and culture is intrinsic part of it. And then you have post-independence India and world history. Okay, this is where listen to the end of the till the end of the class to understand how to go about it. But this is where students will try to fall, trying to do too much or trying to take it too easy, because 75 marks. You cannot neglect completely also. You cannot tell that in prelims I have studied, I will use the same knowledge and try to write it. That is taking it too lightly. Reading 6 different books for 6 different bullet points is taking too much heavily. So what is that balance point, you will find out. But overall you understood what is the syllabus of history. This is the syllabus of history. Okay. Next. The next is, let us talk about society. Look at this. The society is like this. First, salient features of Indian society, diversity of India. This is the one thing. Next, role of women and women's organization. That is one. All these are issues. Okay, they are not for a role of women and women's organization. You don't have to read any book. You have to know about different dimensions about the issues of women in India. I hope you are understanding this. So, salient features of Indian society, diversity of India, role of women and women's organization, population and associated issues, poverty and developmental issues, urbanization, their problems and their remedies. Okay, this is the second bullet point. Third one, effects of globalization on Indian society. That's the third bullet point. Next, social empowerment, communalism, regionalism and secularism. This is the fourth bullet point. Yeah, these are the only 4 bullet points. Okay, salient features of Indian society and diversity of India, role of women and women's organization, population and associated issues, poverty and developmental issues, urbanization, their problems and their remedies. Okay, effect of globalization on Indian society, social empowerment, communalism, regionalism and secularism. Clear with this? You had 4 or 5 bullet points there. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points for history. You have 4 bullet points for society. The next comes geography. Okay. Look at this, 3 bullet points, they have finished the entire geography. Okay. So overall, if you just look at this paper, it is just having 12 bullet points. But if you take all the 4 papers, the most vast syllabus of a particular paper is this. But it is good to study. So I am not trying to scare you by telling that it is vast. I am trying to emphasize on the fact that because it is vast, you should have an approach to follow. Otherwise, there is a lot of deviations that you may take. Okay, anyways, just read out the, look at this. Only from these 3 bullet points, you get 100 marks. Okay, salient features of world's physical geography. Okay, that means the entire world geography is put there, physical geography. Distribution of key natural resources across the world, including South Asia and the Indian subcontinent. So by default, they are bringing Indian geography there. Okay. Factors responsible for the location of primary, secondary and tertiary sector industries in various parts of the world, including India. That means world geography also is put, Indian geography also put. Overall, this particular thing is telling that you have to learn about the economic geography of the world also, India also. In very simple words, they are told like that. Okay. Next, important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic activity, cyclone, etc. Geographical features and their location changes in critical Important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, etc., comma, geographical features and their location changes in critical geographical features including water bodies and ice caps and in flora and fauna and the effect of such changes. Okay, see, physical means natural, geo means earth, phenomena means anything that is happening on the earth. Okay, phenomena that happens naturally on the earth is geophysical phenomena. At the end of the day, this bullet point can be put under this bullet point only. Okay, they have just given us one separate bullet point. What I'm trying to tell is, with this 3 bullet points, you will not be able, by preparing on this 3 bullet points, you will not be able to write the answer given in UPSC for geography as a section. Whenever the syllabus is not able to do justice for how to prepare, what should you do? Go to the previous year question papers. When you analyze the last 10 years of question paper, that 10 years of question paper will give you much more detailed understanding of how the questions has to be prepared for the next exam. I hope you're understanding this. But overall, you studied all the 3 sections. The 5 bullet points of history, the 4 bullet points of society, and the 3 bullet points of geography. Did you understand this? So now, whenever we go back to that previous year question and whenever we are starting to solve, you should understand why are they asking this question. Why do we always go to the UPSC question first, discuss and then go to the previous year question is, when they are asking that question, it should resonate with you. Yes, this was there in the syllabus, that's why they are asking like this. Yes, it was there in the syllabus, that's why they are asking like this. When it resonates, that will give you the belief to prepare, more diligently, telling that if I conform myself to the syllabus, the questions will always come from the syllabus. I hope you are understanding this. I wouldn't have done this, I would have told, read the notification, the syllabus is there. Okay, but why am I reading it out, taking that effort is to emphasize on the fact that this becomes very important for you to do always as the first step for your preparation. Okay, this is done. All right, the next is, let us go to the next one. So now what we will do is section, let us start with society. We will start with society, then we will go to geography and last we will come to history. Okay, because history is a little vast, I have to go one step at a time there. Okay, let us complete the easiest part. It is not as easy as it sounds, but relatively easy compared to geography and history is the Indian society part. Okay, in Indian society, now as I told you that this 4 bullet points, 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 bullet points are the syllabus points, but writing like this will not help you. Okay, now I have changed the syllabus after analyzing the last 10 years of question paper. First I will give you the changed part of the syllabus, we will write that down, and then as we go one step at a time, 1 year at a time, we will analyze how the syllabus that I have rearranged will help you to prepare properly. Okay, so now what I want you to do is, I want you to write like this. Prepare a table and write like this. So we are talking about society. So when we are talking about society, I want you to prepare a table like this. The first is salient features of Indian society. The first is salient features of Indian society. Let's draw the line. The next is caste, customs, traditions. Okay, see, after writing this table, along the y-axis, we are going to go year-wise, 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, we are going to go like this. So please make sure that you write a very big table. It is not some small table. Okay, this is the second one. The next is globalization. The next is globalization. The next is secularism. Secularism, regionalism, and communalism. Secularism, regionalism, and communalism. The next is governance topics in Indian society. Governance topics in Indian society. The next is women. The next is women. It is still there. I'm just waiting for you to complete it so that I can go to the next page. Salient features of Indian society: caste, customs and traditions, globalization, secularism, regionalism and communalism, governance topics in Indian society, women. We still have complete this. This is a new trend. The last 2 years we are seeing this. Okay, in the last 2 years. Why are they giving this is because there's a word called social empowerment. Okay, in the society topic, that one word social empowerment can allow this topic to come or this topic to be asked. Okay, so that is why they're asking this in the last 2 years. We will see that anyways. So governance topics in Indian society, women. Next is impact of X on Indian society. Impact of X on Indian society. Here X does not mean Twitter. Okay, X means any variable. They can ask you any variable impact on Indian society. For example, impact of gig economy on Indian society, impact of work from home on Indian society, or impact of work from home on family relationship. All these are asked questions only. I'm just telling why is this is where contemporary issues that is happening. You should always relate the contemporary issues to Indian society. Okay, for example, the impact of artificial intelligence on Indian society. That is a contemporary issue that can be asked. Okay, so impact of X on Indian society. That is another important area where the questions keep coming up. Shall I move to the next page? Okay, you continue the same table. Okay, I'll move to the next page. Then you have urbanization, tribes, and then you have miscellaneous topics. So I hope we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Shall we start? So now what we will do is, we will go to the society questions. From 2025, we will go till 2020. Your job is, I will read out the question. Your job is to, one, understand which thematic will that question fall under, and as we did in the ethics class, the core demand of the question. Just write in small words, so that why should you, if you just write question number 6, question number 7, question 8, when you look at the table, it's useless. I don't want that to happen. Okay. So what you are going to do here is, you are going to just write in 3 words or in maximum 4 words, what is the crux of that particular question. So that when you look at that particular table itself, you will get a bird's eye view of what Indian society is all about, not only the syllabus, but also what type of questions are they asking. Okay, so in a glimpse, you should be knowing how exactly to prepare and how exactly have you prepared after 15 days on Indian society. So I hope you understood the same tradition that we did in the GS4 part. Okay, let us start off. GS1 2025 question paper. Okay, the question will always be 8, 9, 10. Okay, 8, 9, 10, 18, 19, 20. Society questions will always be 8, 9, 10 and 18, 19, 20. That is 3 into 10 markers, 3 into 15 markers. So you have 30 plus 45, 75 marks. This is how society questions come. And I always tell my students, when they start the paper, go for society. Okay, because if you develop by 15 days, society is something that I will make sure that the same level of lines of thought will be developed in society as you have developed in ethics. That I can assure you. Okay, so society is something that students always feel comfortable. Okay, all right. So let us start off. How does smart city in India address the issues of urban poverty and distributive justice? How does smart city in India address the issues of urban poverty and distributive justice? First, put it in which section? Will you put it in urbanization? Yes? Sorry? X. What is the X here? Smart cities is there, so you are putting in urbanization. Let us assume that this question was not asked. You are preparing on urbanization. Would you have prepared on urbanization on this angle? See, on urbanization, what would I have prepared? Let us say that this question has not come. You are preparing for 2024. This question was not asked. So, on urbanization, what type of questions would you have prepared? Give me 2-3 examples. What would you have prepared if you are preparing for urbanization, preceding this question to be coming in UPSC exam? The first thing that you will prepare is how urbanization affects Indian society. The second, what are the challenges urbanization poses on Indian society? Third, how urbanization is creating modern values that are coming in conflict with traditional values. See, these are things that you would have prepared. What are the challenges of unsustainable urbanization? Maximum 3 to 5 angles like this you would have prepared. You wouldn't have prepared like this. How smart city in India addresses the issues of urban poverty and distributive justice. So, look at this, urban poverty and distributive justice. Don't you think that they are bringing the angle of governance and talking in Indian society? So, yes, you are not absolutely wrong. You can put it in urbanization if you want to. But, according to me, this is governance question in social justice. Don't you think that this question is more apt in GS2 of social justice? Yes or no? But I am not telling that it is wrong that they have asked here. I am just telling that this is a new way of asking question. Because when we go backwards, you will see that such questions are not there. Suddenly what they are trying to do, they are taking the society topics and they are putting governance into it. You will get to know that. Okay, but what you should write it is in governance. Write it in governance. What is the crux of the demand? Smart cities helps reduce, smart cities hyphen urban poverty and distributive justice. So there you should write smart cities hyphen urban poverty and distributive justice. Urban poverty and distributive justice. Okay, next, look at this. The ethos of civil service in India stand for the combination of professionalism with nationalistic consciousness. Elucidate. Just because they told civil service, just because they told nationalistic consciousness, I've seen many people tell that this is a history question. There is nothing history here. They're not asking no history here. They're only trying to tell the ethos of civil service in India stands for the combination of professionalism. So you should talk about civil service, the moral character of the civil service. You have to link it to professionalism and talk. The moral character of the civil service, you have to link it to nationalistic consciousness and talk. In very simple words, on one side you should talk civil services and its efficiency. On the other side you should talk civil service and its empathy. That's all they're asking. Okay. Now that you have to talk in the realm of Indian society. That is what is the challenge. Okay. Anyways, write this. Where will you write this? Come again? Impact of X. What is the X here? No, yes. You are telling something loudly. I have not told that theme only. Why are you putting a new theme? You have to put that in the theme that I have given you. What is the theme that this will come under? This question, forget in UPSC GS1. Where else can you see this question? Where else can you see this question? In a GS2, is there a syllabus point that says role of civil services? In GS2, don't you think that there is a syllabus point that tells role of civil services in India? Okay, don't you think that this question should have come there more aptly? What I'm trying to tell you is, this is also governance topic in Indian society. Okay, think a little bit. I've given you the topics there. Look at it at least once. Read everything once and see which suits. Don't visualize out of the blue which can it come under. Don't think out of the blue that you will get that blinking things that yes, this is. Look and see which one is more suitable there. I see you people visualizing like you remember every thematics. You just learned the thematics now. So when I say where does it come, look at all the thematics and see where is it more apt to be put. Are you understanding this? Okay, don't think that it just by thinking like this it will come to my head and I will tell the answer to sir. It will not come like that. So put that effort to see the thematics whenever we read the question. Okay, so this comes in governance in Indian society, and the topic, what is the crux of this? Ethos of civil service is equal to professionalism plus nationalistic consciousness. Ethos of civil service is equal to ethos of civil service is equal to ethos of civil service is equal to professionalism plus nationalistic consciousness. Nationalistic consciousness. Okay, next one. 10th one. Do you think that globalization results in only an aggressive consumer culture? Justify your answer. Where will this come? Loudly. Yes, right. What is the crux? Impact, no, globalization leading to, that's all. Globalization, put an hyphen, aggressive consumer culture. Globalization, put an hyphen, aggressive consumer culture. Globalization, hyphen, aggressive consumer culture. Aggressive consumer culture. Okay, next, 18, 19, 20, first one. How do you account for the growing fast food industries given that there are increased health concerns in modern society? Illustrate your answer with the Indian experience. Yes, loudly. Impact of X on Indian society. What is the X here? Very good. The X here is growing fast food industries. Good. Okay. Impact of growing fast food industries on Indian society. Impact of growing fast food industries on Indian society. Now you have to analyze the impact of growing fast food industries on Indian society. On that Indian society where health concerns are also growing. That is what they are trying to tell. So in Indian society, the health concerns are also growing. Even though the health concerns are also growing, but still the fast food industry is also growing. That is what the entire question is. Okay, but all I hope you have got the crux. Okay, next. Achieving sustainable growth with emphasis on environmental protection could come into conflict with poor people's, achieving sustainable growth with emphasis on environmental protection could come into conflict with poor people's needs in a country like India. Comment. Where will this come? Miscellaneous? Will this come in miscellaneous? Where can you put this? Achieving such, okay, first we will do one thing. What is the crux of this question? Could you could someone tell me? What is the demand of this question? Ecocentric development. Okay, fair enough. So can I say this is a conflict between development on one side, development and conservation on one side, and on the other side, what will be on the other side? What? Give me a word. I know what is the English word, what it is telling. It is on one side telling that Very good. Vulnerability. Very good. Don't you think that it is talking on one side, you're talking about conservation, you're talking about sustainable development. On the other side, it is about vulnerability. So basically the question is asking, by improving the conservation, are you increasing the vulnerability? That is what is it? Do you think this is a society question or a governance question? You are understanding this? Okay, so in governance you can say, conservation and sustainable development versus vulnerability of the poor. Conservation or sustainable development versus conservation or sustainable development versus vulnerability of the poor. Vulnerability of the poor. Vulnerability of the poor. Okay, next. Does tribal development in India center around two axes, those of displacement and of rehabilitation? Give your opinion. Tribes, give me the crux of the question. Crux of the question. Correct. Tribal development is equal to displacement plus rehabilitation. Tribal development is equal to displacement plus rehabilitation. Displacement plus rehabilitation. Okay, so you understood 6 questions that has come in 2025. Okay, let us move to the next one. The next is 2024. Okay, now look at this. Distinguish between gender equality, gender equity, and women's empowerment. Why is it important to take gender concerns into account in program design and implementation? You will put it in? Women. Loudly. You should put it in? A little low. Have you not eaten breakfast today? Okay, why are you so low? Okay, you should be more energetic. Okay, it comes in women. What is the crux? Very simple and straightforward. Gender equality, gender equity, and women's empowerment. Okay, gender equality, gender equality, gender equity, and women's empowerment. Gender equity and women's empowerment. Okay, here also look at this. The second part is more about governance only. They are telling why is it important to take gender concerns into account in program design and implementation. Now that is again, whenever they say program design and implementation, it is part of governance, but it is okay. But I am just telling you that look how they are bringing or they are abridging governance into Indian society. Okay, next. Intercaste marriages between castes which have socio-economic parity have increased to some extent, but this is less true for inter-religious marriages. Discuss. Okay, caste, customs and traditions. What is the crux? Only that's all? What is the crux? Inter-caste marriages and it's comparison of both only. They are telling inter-caste marriages have been increasing. Yes, particularly amongst the parity groups, but inter-religious marriages is not happening. So basically they are telling two variables. Then why are you worried about only one? Inter-caste marriages and inter-religious marriages. They are talking about inter-caste marriages as well as inter-religious marriages. Inter-caste and inter-religious marriages. Okay, next. In dealing with socio-economic issues of development, what kind of collaboration between government, NGOs and private sector would be most productive? Where will you put this? In dealing with socio-economic issues of development, what kind of collaboration between government, NGOs and private sector would be more productive? Very good. Governance. Correct, governance. So what will you put there? What is the crux? What is the crux? The crux is collaboration between government, NGO plus private sector. Collaboration between governance, NGOs and private sector. Governance, NGOs and private sector. Shall I start? Next. Despite comprehensive policies for equity and social justice, underprivileged sections are not yet getting the full benefits of affirmative actions envisaged by the Constitution's comment. I'll repeat again. Despite comprehensive policies for equity and social justice, underprivileged sections are not yet getting the full benefits of affirmative actions envisaged by the Constitution. Comment. Where is this? Very good. Governance. Okay. What is the crux? What is the crux of this question? Limitations of? Fair enough. I will just tell. Affirmative actions not reaching the underprivileged. Can I tell this? This is the crux. Affirmative actions not reaching the underprivileged. Affirmative actions not reaching the underprivileged. Not reaching the underprivileged. See, why have I not created a table called poverty? I could have easily created the table called poverty and I would have told smart cities on urban poverty, this underprivileged sections on and affirmative actions, as well as I could have told even this question, sustainable growth and poor people's needs. I could have easily created one separate table as poverty and created all these questions, but the question is not just about poverty, the question is about governance and empowering the poor. Okay, so what I felt is these questions should have been asked in GS2 of governance, which is coming in Indian society. So it is more apt to create that section called governance in Indian society and write it. That is why I am trying to, I hope you are understanding this, because whatever question is coming, that they are linking it to governance plus something to do with underprivileged, governance plus something to do with poor, governance plus something to do with urban poverty and distributive justice. So they are adding that governance topic into this. That's why I have created that table called governance in Indian society. Okay, anyways. So this is done. Next, globalization has increased urban migration by skilled young unmarried women from various classes. How has this trend impacted upon their personal freedom and relationship with family? Globalization automatically, what is the crux? Tell me the crux. Okay, what is the crux? Impacts of globalization on? You are writing that particular table only is globalization. There you can talk increasing urban migration. Okay, increasing urban migration of skilled young and unmarried women. Increasing urban migration of skilled young and unmarried women. Increasing urban migration of skilled unmarried young women. Okay, all right, let us go to the next one. Next, critically analyze the proposition that there is high correlation between India's cultural diversities and socio-economic marginalities. High correlation between India's cultural diversities and socio-economic marginalities. Caste, customs and traditions. Salient features of Indian society. Because, why are you putting it in salient features of Indian society? Because, yes, diversity. Diversity is one of the salient features of Indian society. What they are trying to tell is, our diversity, whatever cultural diversity that we have, within the diversity we can clearly see the socio-economic marginalities. This is what they are trying to tell. Okay, so it comes in salient features of Indian society. What will you say there? Crux is correlation between cultural diversities and socio-economic marginalities. Correlation between cultural diversities and socio-economic marginalities. Socio-economic marginalities. Okay, all right. So we are finished with 2024 question paper. Now let us go to 2023. Do you think marriage as a sacrament is losing its value in modern India? Do you think marriage as a sacrament is losing its value in modern India? Yes? Okay. Caste, customs and traditions. Okay. What else? Salient. Yes, exactly. Marriage. Okay, you can put it in salient features. Okay. Marriage losing its relevance. The crux is marriage losing its relevance. Marriage losing its relevance. Even if you put it in customs and traditions, it is not wrong, it is okay, but more apt in salient features of Indian society. Because when we are discussing salient features of Indian society, we discuss marriage also as a concept. That's why I am putting it in salient features of Indian society. Next. Explain why suicide among young women is increasing in Indian society. Women, very good. Increasing suicides among young women. Increasing suicides. I hope you are writing the year. Okay, if you don't write the year, it will not make any sense. Increasing suicides among young women. Okay, next. Child cuddling is now being replaced by mobile phones. Discuss its impact on socialization of children. Impact of X. Okay. What is the X here? What is the X? Very good. X is mobile phones. And mobile phones impact on what? Okay. So, the impact of mobile phones on socialization of children. That is what is the impact here. Impact of mobile phones on socialization of children. Impact of mobile phones on socialization of children. Okay, so 8, 9, 10 is done. Let's go to 18, 19, 20. Does urbanization lead to more segregation or marginalization of the poor in Indian metropolises? Urbanization. Okay, what is the crux? What is the crux? Increasing marginalization of urban poor or increasing marginalization of poor in urban India. Increasing marginalization of poor in urban India. Increasing marginalization of poor in urban India. Okay, next. Why is caste identity in India both fluid and static? Why is caste identity in India both fluid and static? See, look at this thing, table. Caste, customs and traditions, loudly. Caste, customs and traditions. Okay. Caste system is equal to fluid plus static. Caste system is equal to fluid plus static. Caste system is equal to fluid plus static. Next. Discuss the impact of post-liberal economy on ethnic identity and communalism. Which one? Very good. Secularism, regionalism and communalism there. Okay. Or 1 second, will you put it there, or read it once more and see where can you put this? Impact. Post-liberal economy means what happened? Discuss the impact of post-liberal economy. That means after the LPG, what is LPG? Liberalization, privatization, and so discuss the impact of post-liberal economy means what? Discuss the impact of globalization on ethnic identity and communalism. So where will this question come? You are understanding this? Write it there. Okay, globalization, impact of globalization on ethnic identity and communalism. Impact of globalization on ethnic identity and communalism. Okay, we are done with 2023 paper. Let us go to 2022 paper. 2022. Explore and evaluate the impact of work from home on family relationship. Impact of X on Indian society. Very good. The X here is work from home. And the society level is family relationship. Okay, so impact of work from home on family relationship. Impact of work from home on family relationship. Okay, next. How is the growth of tier 2 cities related to the rise of new middle class with an emphasis on culture of consumption? How is the growth of tier 2 cities related to the rise of the new middle class with the emphasis on the culture of consumption? Very good. Urbanization, what is the crux? What is the crux? Correct. Tier 2 cities is equal to rising middle class in bracket with consumer culture. Tier 2 cities is equal to rising middle class. Tier 2 cities is equal to rising middle class in bracket culture of consumer, culture of consumption. Tier 2 cities, rising middle class, culture of consumption. Next, given the diversities among tribal communities in India, in which specific context should they be considered as a single category? Tribes, what is the crux? What is the crux of the question here? Criteria for considering tribes as a single category. Criteria for considering tribes. Criteria for considering tribes. Or context. Instead of criteria, you can say, because I've used the word context, you can say context. Context for which, what did I say? Context? Context for considering tribes as single category. Context for considering tribes as single category. That context can be historical disadvantage. That context can be displacement. Are you understanding this? What is that context that will help them be classified as a single category? So that is what they are trying to ask. The category can be relationship with forest. The category can be backwardness. Okay, the category can be use of primitive technologies in their agriculture. So these are some categories that can help you to bring that uniform classification of all tribes. But it is also, you should in this particular question, you should also tell that it is not so straightforward to classify them in a single category, because within the tribes also there are a lot of diversities among them. Okay, so that is the entire cycle that you have to argue. Anyways, we will get there. Next one. The political and administrative reorganization of states and territories has been continuous ongoing process. Sorry, we are done with the society questions. Okay, 8, 9, 10 is done. That is post-independence question. Sorry, history question. Analyze the salience of sect in Indian society with regards to caste, region and religion. Analyze the salience of sect on Indian society with regards to caste, region and religion. Salient features of Indian society, very good. Salience of sect, that is importance of sect. Importance of sect. Okay, importance of sect. Okay, sect means in grouping within a broader group. That is what is called sect. That means if you have India as one nation, inside India you have several small regions. If you have Hinduism as one religion, within Hinduism you have different small religions. If you have one caste, within that caste you have small groups. So that in grouping within a broader group, that is what is called sect. Okay, anyways, we will discuss that in salient features of Indian society, but overall this is salient features. Next. Are tolerance, assimilation and pluralism the key elements in the making of Indian form of secularism? Justify your answer. Very good. Secularism. Okay. So in secularism you should, that is what, secularism, regionalism and communalism, that table you should tell secularism in Indian secularism is equal to Indian secularism is equal to tolerance plus assimilation plus pluralism. Indian secularism is equal to tolerance plus assimilation plus pluralism. Tolerance plus assimilation plus pluralism. Okay, next. Elucidate the relationship between globalization and new technology in a world of scarce resources with special reference to India. Obviously it is globalization. Tell me the crux. What is the crux? Yes. That overall, yes, overall the question is that only, the relationship between globalization and new technology in the context of scarce resources. Okay, can you give me one example of this? Very good. Critical minerals. Very good. Supply chain. Very good. Supply chain resilience. Okay, all right. You can write the same thing. Globalization plus new technology. Globalization plus new technology. Globalization plus new technology in the world of scarce resources. In the world of scarce resources. Okay. All right. 2022 paper is done. The next one. This 8th question is more to do with geography and less to do with this thing. So let it be there. Next. Examine the uniqueness of tribal knowledge system when compared with mainstream knowledge and cultural systems. Tribes, what is the theme? Sorry, crux. What is the crux? Sorry? Endemism of traditional knowledge. No. I can read the entire question and tell that is it. The idea is not to read the entire question and tell the crux. What is it that you can tell in a glimpse that catches the attention of that particular question? Can I say tribal knowledge versus mainstream knowledge? Like that, I want you to tell like that. I don't want you to read out the entire question the way it is. Okay. So tribal knowledge versus mainstream knowledge. Tribal knowledge versus mainstream knowledge. Next. Examine the role of gig economy in the process of empowerment of women in India. Impact of X on Indian society. What is X here? What is X here? Loudly. Okay. And what is its impact on? Yes or no? Okay. Impact of gig economy on empowerment of women. Okay. Next. Discuss the main objectives of population education and point out the measures to achieve them in India in detail. We will add this. Is there this word called population in the syllabus? In Indian society, population syllabus. Is it there? Very good. Population and its associated issues. Very good. See? Population and its associated issues. I hope you are understanding this. It will always be there. That is the reason why we read the syllabus first and then we went there. They are not going to ask something abstract. It will be there. Somehow it will be there. Why are they asking governance questions? Because, look at this, social empowerment. Okay, empowering means it is through governance only you empower someone. I hope you are understanding this. Hence they are asking such questions. Okay. So, coming back to this, you can go to miscellaneous and write. Miscellaneous you can write main objectives of population education. In miscellaneous you can write main objectives of population education. Main objectives of population education. Okay, next. What is cryptocurrency? How does it affect global society? Has it been affecting Indian society also? Okay, impact of X on Indian society. Okay, there X is cryptocurrency. Impact of cryptocurrency on Indian society. Impact of cryptocurrency on Indian society. How does Indian society maintain continuity in its traditional social values? Enumerate the changes taking place in it. Salient features of Indian society. Okay, what is the crux? What is the crux? Traditional social values. Okay, traditional social values. Traditional social values. Okay, 2021 is also done. Let's go to 2020. As caste lost its relevance in understanding the multicultural Indian society, elaborate your answer with illustrations. Caste, customs and traditions, what is the crux? What is the crux here? That's all. Relevance of caste. Okay, relevance of caste. Relevance of caste. Alright, Yes, they have given other context, but we should just know the crux. Okay, try to understand just the crux. Next, COVID-19 pandemic accelerated class inequalities and poverty in India. Comment. Yes or no? Impact of X on Indian society. Very good. What is the X here? COVID-19 pandemic, and impact is on class inequalities and poverty. Okay. So impact of COVID-19 on class inequalities and poverty. Impact of COVID-19 on class inequalities and poverty. Class inequalities and poverty. Next. Do you agree that regionalism in India appears to be a consequence of rising cultural assertiveness? Argue. Regionalism. Okay. What is the crux? Come again? Consequences of regionalism. Okay. What else? What are they asking you? Do you agree? Cultural assertive? Very good. They are asking you, is regionalism in India due to cultural assertiveness? Do you agree? That's what they are asking. So what is the crux? Crux is regionalism is equal to cultural assertiveness. Crux is regionalism is equal to cultural assertiveness. Yes, you can tell no and yes, that is all different, but crux I am just telling. Regionalism is equal to cultural assertiveness. We'll move to the next one. 18th question. Is diversity and pluralism in India under threat due to globalization? Justify your answer. It comes under globalization, and what is the crux? Okay, impact of globalization on diversity and pluralism. Impact of globalization on diversity and pluralism. Impact of globalization on diversity and pluralism. Okay, next. Customs and traditions suppress reason, leading to obscurantism. Do you agree? Customs and traditions suppress reason, leading to obscurantism. Do you agree? Where does it come? Customs and traditions. What is the crux? This is all is the crux. Customs and traditions suppress reason or not. This is what you should argue. Customs and traditions suppress reason or they don't suppress reason. That's all they're asking. Okay. So customs and traditions suppress reason or not. Customs and traditions suppress reason or not. Suppress reason or not. Okay. Next. How have digital initiatives in India contributed to the functioning of education system in the country? Elaborate your answer. Impact of X. Can you say that? The X here is digital initiatives in India and the impact is on education system in the country. Okay, impact of digital initiatives on education system in India. Impact of digital initiatives. Impact of digital initiatives on education system in India. Impact of digital initiatives on education system in India. You got this? So, we went through 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021 and 2026 years of paper we have gone through in a matter of just not even 1 hour. So, remember, going through 10 years paper is not that difficult. Okay, and I have already told you in ethics why I do only last 5 years is because when I go to the last 10 years, things become repeating. You will start feeling that the same thing only sir is telling the same. That happens because you saw that in ethics also. That should happen. When that happens, that means that you have got enough content to write whatever answers they ask in that particular section. Okay, that is what we trained for in ethics theory. Yes or no? And that is what we will train for in Indian society also. So, Indian society also follows the same thing. Okay, the first is we follow 3-step approach in Indian society. Okay. First is building the societal vocabulary. Just like we built ethical vocabulary, we will build societal vocabulary. Okay, so that you understand what is regionalism, what is communalism, what is globalization, what is marriage, what is society, what is family. I hope you are understanding this. So you should understand what is caste system, what do you mean by customs, how is it different from traditions. So these are some things that you should know very well. Okay, so we will start with the societal vocabulary. When societal vocabulary is done, then we will go with the brainstorming for keywords. Brainstorming for keywords. Here, along with the brainstorming for keywords, when we discuss the questions, the last 5 years of question, when we discuss one by one, we should also try to apply what we call as stakeholders approach. Even this is a very good approach in society. Okay, we will obviously do keywords approach, and then we'll also apply stakeholders approach wherever possible, because that will help you to generate more points. Because when they say the impact of work from home on family relationship, when they say impact on work from home from family relationship, who will be there in a family? Who will be there in a family? A family will have 3 generations. Okay, they will have the grandfather and grandmother, they will have the father and mother, and then they will have the kids. So when they say impact of work from home on family relationship, so look at this, by applying the stakeholders principle, how you can do is the impact of family relationship on husband and wife, the impact of family work from home on the parents and grandparents, the impact of work from home on parents and children, the impact of work from home on children and grandparents. Look at this. This is what is called a stakeholders approach. Why stakeholders approach is very important is, in Indian society, whenever they ask a question, there will be a lot of stakeholders involved. I hope you are understanding this. So that is why applying stakeholders approach is actually a very good way to go about in Indian society, which we will discuss. Whenever we go to that question, we will discuss. But the same as ethics, once we discuss that year's society questions, then we will go on to write, the next is model answers. The next is model answers. So year by year, we will take every question and we will start writing the model answers. Now, you people have written the table and you have written all the important questions that comes in the last, that has come in the last 6 years. Can you tell me that by writing the model answers, can we repeat the same thing in the next year also? Whatever 6 years of questions that you have seen, if you have made model answers on them, can we use the content that is there in the model answers for the future exams also? Yes or no? Okay, so that is the utility of it. So one, you would have got the vocabulary. Second, you would have got the important keywords. And the third, you would have got the language to express the keywords. I always keep telling you articulation. Keywords will help you to generate dimensions. Model answers will help you to articulate those dimensions into English. Are you understanding this? So these are the 3-level approach that we will be following to complete the Indian society section. Clear with this? This is how it will go. 2 minutes. If you have any doubts, we can ask. Online guys, you also can ask if you have any doubts with respect to society before we go to geography. No doubts? Shall we move to the next one? No doubts. Clear with this? How we are going to go with the section of society? The next one. Now comes the difficult part. Be very, very careful in making a note of it. Otherwise, you will not understand how to go about it. I'm pretty sure that no one will study like this, but this is how you have to study. Again, I'm telling you, my student has been the highest scorer in GS1, Mustafa Pasha. Okay, he's an IPS officer. He has got the highest score. The reason is because this approach works. And this approach is the simplest way in order to study GS1. Okay, don't complicate it. Now, what I want you to do is, in geography, if you take geography, divide the geography this way. Okay, this is how you have to divide the geography. You have industrial geography, you have resource geography, you have regional geography, you have urban geography, you have human geography, and physical geography. And climate change. Social geography, human geography or social geography. This is also okay. Okay, so on this side we are going to write 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020. Industrial geography, resource geography, regional geography, urban geography, human geography, physical geography, climate change. Okay, human geography means migration also is within human geography only. Whenever they talk about migration, that is human geography only. Okay, now what I want you to do is two things. Read the question, understand which thematic will you put that question. The second is understand, the second thing is, after writing the question, you should next put IG or WG. What is IG? Indian geography, or you should put it as world geography. So when we are discussing this entire table, they can ask you in the context of world geography also, they can ask you in the context of Indian geography also. So we should be very, very careful. So once you write the crux, you should mention there IG or WG. Okay, that is one thing that you should keep in your mind. Okay. Shall we start? Okay, all right. So let us go to the 2025 paper. Again, the question will be 90% of the time the questions will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so 4 into 10 markers, 4 into 15 markers. Okay, 100 marks. 4 into 10 markers, that is 40. 4 into 15 markers is 60, that is 100 marks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is more or less geography questions, 90% of the time. Alright, let us start off now. Let's go one by one. How are climate change and sea level rise affecting the very existence of many island nations? Discuss with examples. How are climate change and sea level rise affecting the very existence of many island nations? Discuss with examples. Climate change, what's the crux? World geography, yes, what's the crux? Climate change on island nations. The crux is climate change on island nations. Climate change on island nations. Climate change on island nations. That is the crux. Next. What are non-farm primary activities? How are these activities related to physiographic features in India? Discuss with suitable examples. No, not industrial geography. One second. You can write one more aspect here. Because I don't want to just club it just for the sake of it. This is mainly to do with allied activities of agriculture. Okay, so add it in, create one more aspect here and write it as agricultural geography. Write it as agriculture plus allied activities. Write it like that. Agriculture plus allied activities. Agriculture plus allied activities. Okay. Now, put this. What are non-farm primary activities? What do you mean by this? Non-farm primary activities. It can be fishing. It can be any allied activities of agriculture is non-farm primary activities. It can also be mining. Okay, mining is also non-farm primary activities. It can be rearing, livestock rearing. All these things are non-farm primary activities. So you can add this question there. Non-farm primary activities. Non-farm primary activities. Okay, non-farm primary activities. Okay, next. Briefly explain the ecological and economic benefits of solar energy generation in India with suitable examples. Where will this come? Briefly explain the ecological and economic benefits of solar energy generation in India with suitable examples. Solar energy is what? Resource. So it will come in resource. Okay, so you can say ecological plus economic benefits of solar energy. In resource geography, you can say economic and ecological benefits of ecological and economic benefits of solar energy. Okay, IG, right? Indian geography. Okay, here also this is IG, this is Indian geography. How is climate change affecting the many island nations? This is WG, that is world geography. So the fourth question is world geography, the fifth question is Indian geography, the sixth question is Indian geography. Okay, resource geography and Indian geography. Okay, next. What are tsunamis? How and where are they formed? What are their consequences? Explain with examples. Physical geography, world geography. Okay, tsunamis. You're writing as tsunamis, world geography. Tsunamis, world geography. Okay, next. Tsunamis, world geography. The next is give a geographical explanation of the distribution of offshore oil reserves of the world. How are they different from onshore occurrences of oil reserves? Resource geography. Okay, what's the crux here? Offshore plus onshore oil reserves, world geography. Onshore plus offshore oil reserves, onshore plus offshore, onshore plus offshore oil reserves, world geography. Okay, world geography. Next. How can artificial intelligence and drones be effectively used along with GIS and RS techniques in locational and aerial planning? Where can you put this? How can artificial intelligence and drones be effectively used along with GIS and RS techniques in locational and aerial planning? Which one? No, not allied activities. Come again? Urban geography and industrial geography both can be used here. We don't want to put it somewhere in this thing. Put it as miscellaneous. Put it under miscellaneous. Okay, put it under miscellaneous and tell 4 variables are there here. Miscellaneous AI plus drones plus GIS plus RS. AI plus drones plus GIS plus RS. In development, in locational and aerial planning. In locational and aerial planning. Locational and aerial planning. Indian geography, yes. You can talk, see, whenever they don't specify, this is one thing that you should remember, this is the rule. Whenever they don't specify whether it is world geography or Indian geography, it is always good to go to Indian geography. That is the first rule. The second rule is, whenever they mention, they will ask you the entire question and they'll say, examine this in the context of developing nations. When they say examine in the context of developing nations, you talk in the context of India only. Okay, so 2 rules that I have told you is, if they have not specified or if the question does not say world or India, you go for India, because you will have more points to write, more dimensions to write, more diagrams to bring. Okay, that's what I am trying to tell. Okay, whenever they don't mention world or India, you go to India. Second, when they mention in the context of developing countries, when they say in the context of developing countries, then also you go to India. Okay, these are the 2 things that you should remember. All right, next. So here they are telling how can artificial intelligence drones be effectively used along with GS and RIS in locational and aerial planning. See, they can talk in the context of world also, you can talk in the context of India also. But in India, you will get more examples. For example, if you take here, use of drones in Swamitwa. Are you understanding this? So that will give you a very good idea. You got it? Or use of remote sensing in order to monitor forest fires. MODIS satellite. See, there are more examples that you have to write here in the context of India rather than the world. So in those things, don't take that risk. You talk about India only here. Got it? All right, next one. Discuss how the changes in shape and sizes of continents and ocean basins of the planet take place due to tectonic movement of the crustal masses. World physical geography. Okay, the crux is plate tectonics, yes. The crux is plate tectonics. Plate tectonics, world physical geography. Okay, next. Discuss the distribution and density of the population in the Ganga river basin with special reference to land, soil and water resources. Indian geography, where will this come? Discuss the distribution and density of population in the Ganga river basin with special reference to land, soil and water resources. Is it human geography or resource geography? In the context of yes, but what are they asking? Distribution and density of population. So where will this come? Human geography. Okay. So population distribution and population density in Ganga river basin. That's what they are asking. Population distribution and population density. Population distribution and population density in Ganga river basin. Population distribution and population density in Ganga river basin. Yes. Why is it more there? You have to talk in the context of land, in the context of soil, in the context of water resources. That is okay. But the main crux is human geography. Okay, next. Alright, so we are done with the 2025 paper. So I hope you got the 8 questions. You got the 8 questions? Let us move to 2024 paper. Fourth question. What is sea surface temperature rise? How does it affect the formation of tropical cyclones? Is it physical geography? You're sure it's physical geography? What is this? Sea surface temperature rise. Why is it happening? You're understanding this? So it comes in climate change. So SSTs. That is, SST means sea surface temperature rise. Okay, SST and its influence on rising SSTs. That's how you should say. Rising SSTs and its influence on tropical cyclones. Rising SSTs. Rising SSTs and its influence on tropical cyclones. Rising SSTs and its influence on tropical cyclones. Okay, next. Why do large cities tend to attract more migrants than smaller towns? Discuss in the light of conditions in developing countries. See, this is what I was telling. Discuss in the light of conditions in developing countries. You will not know African developing countries. You don't know what's happening in Nigeria. I hope you're understanding this. So don't get confused. How can I write about developing? When they say discuss in the context of developing countries, you talk India only. Because India is also part of developing country only. I hope you're understanding this. Okay, this is what I told. This is rule number 2. Okay, now, why do large cities tend to attract more migrants than smaller towns? Where will this come? Human geography? You want to put it in human geography? No issues. Yes, you can put. Or you can put it in urban geography. It is up to you. Okay. For me, it is urban geography. Why? Because they are comparing with 2 cities. Why is migration happening more towards tier 1 cities and why is it not happening towards tier 2? So it's a comparison between 2 cities rather than the migration as a whole. They are not asking why migration is happening. They are telling why people are going more towards tier 1 and not going more to tier 2. So it is more to do with urban geography. Okay, but it is okay if you put it in human, not wrong, but I would suggest there only. Okay, what's the crux? Migration is equal to large towns greater than small towns. That's all. Migration is equal to large towns greater than small towns. Migration is equal to large towns greater than small towns. Okay, next. What is the phenomena of cloudburst? Explain. Physical geography. Okay, this is it is just physical geography. World, India, everything will come here. Okay, explain the phenomena of cloudburst. Next, what is the concept of demographic winter? Is the world moving towards such a situation? Elaborate. Where is this? What is the concept of demographic winter? Is the world moving towards such a situation? So basically you understood it's a world geography question. Okay, demographic winter means what? The population, very good, aging population, the population growth rate has gone below the death rate. If this is the death rate, this is the growth rate, then population will always grow. When this is the death rate, this is the growth rate, population will become stagnant. When this is the death rate, this is the growth rate, see, the growth rate is going down. Birth rate, death rate is higher than the growth rate. What will happen to the population there? It will decline. That scenario where the death rate is greater than the birth rate, this is what is called demographic winter. Okay, but overall, where do you put this? Human geography. Okay, demographic winter, human geography, in bracket world geography. Okay, demographic winter, human geography, in bracket world geography. World geography. Okay, next one. We are done with that. Let us go to the groundwater potential of the Gangetic Valley is on a serious decline. How may it affect the food security of India? Someone told. Very good. It's a, what resource are we talking here? Groundwater resource. Very good. Okay. What is the crux? Right, what's the crux? Decline of groundwater in Gangetic Valley. That's all. Decline of groundwater in Gangetic Valley. Decline of groundwater in Gangetic Valley. Decline of groundwater in Gangetic Valley. Next one. What are aurora australis and aurora borealis? How are they triggered? Physical geography. Okay. Aurora australis and borealis. World physical, I mean, there's no world here. It's a phenomena. So, aurora australis and borealis. Aurora australis and borealis. Next. What is a twister? Why are the majority of twisters observed in areas around the Gulf of Mexico? Physical geography. Very good. Twisters. The next is twisters. Physical geography. Twisters. Physical geography. Okay. Again, you can put world. They're asking Gulf of Mexico, you can put world. Anyway, it does not happen in India. Okay. So, it is world geography only. Next. What is regional disparity? How does it differ from diversity? How serious is the issue of regional disparity in India? Regional geography. Okay. Crux. Tell me the crux. Can I say difference between disparity and diversity? That's all. Regional. Difference between regional disparity and regional diversity. Indian geography. Difference between regional disparity and regional diversity. Difference between regional disparity and regional diversity. Indian geography. Okay, so here you have to talk about the India as a subcontinent. Okay, in India as a subcontinent, you have diversity. Himalayas only is a different diversity. Deserts are only of different diversity. Gangetic plains is only of different diversity. Northeast India is only of different diversity. Peninsular India is only different diversity. So that is how you will argue about the diversity of India, and then you will come to disparity. Within Himalayas also there is disparity. Within the coastal regions of India also there is disparity. Within the peninsular India also there is disparity. Northeast India also there is disparity. So this is how you will argue. That is why you have to make the question more geographical by arguing about different spatial analysis of India and not by just writing English. Okay, anyway we will discuss that, but overall I just told you. Because many people will start thinking that this is 17th question, sir, I will talk from the angles of society. Okay, so that is why I am trying to make it very clear. Okay, so 17 is done. The next is, anyway, we are done with 2024. Let's go to 2023. Discuss the consequences of climate change on the food security in tropical countries. Again, discuss the consequences of climate change on the food security in tropical countries. Tropical countries means it can be Congo, it can be Brazil, it can be Indonesia, it can also be India. So, you talk in the context of India only. Don't start thinking I don't know about those things. Okay. Anyways, climate change and food security. Climate change on food security. Impact of climate change on food security. Impact of climate change on food security. Okay. You can talk in your mind, let it be Indian geography, but when you're writing, let it be world geography. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. In your mind, things should run. Because of climate change, what can happen on the food security of India only you keep thinking, but when you're writing, you should write like world geography. So that I will teach you how to do it, but overall this is how your thinking should go. Okay. Whenever they say tropical countries, developing countries, India only should be the visualization. Okay. Next. Why is the world today confronted with the crisis of availability of and access to freshwater resources? Resource geography. So there you should tell access to freshwater resources. World geography. Access to freshwater resources. Access to freshwater resources, world geography. Access to freshwater resources, world geography. Next. How are charts formed? Why do they constitute some of the most picturesque areas of the world? Very good. Physical geography. World geography. Physical geography only. Charts. Okay, the heading is charts. What are charts? How are they formed? And why do they form the most picturesque regions? Charts is the topic. World geography. Next. Why is the southwest monsoons called Purvaya in Bhojpur region? How can this directional seasonal wind system influence the cultural ethos of the region? Very good. Physical geography. Okay. What is the crux here? Southwest monsoons, very good. Southwest monsoons, Indian geography. Okay, the crux is Southwest monsoons, Indian geography. Southwest monsoons, Indian geography. Okay, next one. Comment on the resource potential of the long coastline of India and highlight the status of natural hazard preparedness in these areas. Where will this come under? Resource geography. Okay, what will be the crux? Resource potential of X. That X is here long coastline of India. Can I remove this long coastline of India and say Northeast India? Can I remove this Northeast India and say Deccan Trap of India? I hope you are understanding this. So this is resource geography and resource potential of X. Don't say X, resource potential of long coastline of India. But overall the thematic is that. Okay, resource potential of long coastline of India. Resource potential of long coastline of India. The second part, the status of natural hazard preparedness in these areas. Once you are done with disaster management in paper 3, you will be able to write it. Don't worry about it. Okay, but the crux here is resource potential of the long coastline of India. Clear with this? Next. Identify and discuss the factors responsible for diversity of natural vegetation in India. Assess the significance of wildlife sanctuaries in rainforest regions of India. Where will you put this? Physical geography. What is the crux? Yeah, there are two parts. First one is factors responsible for the diverse vegetation in India plus significance of wildlife sanctuaries in India. Okay, two questions are there. You can write like that only. Two subparts you write. One, factors responsible for diverse natural vegetation in India. Factors responsible for diverse natural vegetation in India. Factors responsible for diverse natural vegetation in India plus significance of wildlife sanctuaries. Significance of wildlife sanctuaries in India. They told rainforest in India. That and all is not necessary. Significance of wildlife sanctuaries in India. Significance of wildlife sanctuaries in India. Okay, so this is about physical geography. Very good. Why did human development fail? Sorry, this is, yeah. Why did human development fail to keep pace with economic development in India? Why did human development fail to keep pace with economic development in India? Where will you put this? Human geography. Okay, human geography. Okay, there you should say human development versus economic development. Human development versus economic development. Whenever I say human development, what have you learnt? I have told you or I have taught you 3 C's. What are the 3 C's? What are the 3 C's of human development? Capacity, capability, choice. I hope you are understanding this. Okay. Capacity is natural. Capability is something that is built. And when you build that capability comes the independence of choice. I hope you understood this. These 3 C's are what you are calling as human development. Okay. Anyways, we will come to that later. 16, 17. From being a net food importer in 1960s, India has emerged as a net food exporter to the world. Provide reasons. From being net food importer in 1960s, India has emerged as a net food exporter to the world. Give reasons. Very good. Agricultural geography. What is the crux here? Can someone tell what is the crux? Huh? Food security. Okay. Come again. Very good. Green revolution. Okay. The question is talking about green revolution in India. Very simple it is. Green revolution in India. It is talking about green revolution in India. Okay, so we are done with 2023. Let us go to 2022. Describe the characteristics and types of primary rocks. Physical geography. Characteristics of primary rocks. Physical geography. Characteristics of primary rocks. Characteristics of primary rocks. Second, discuss the meaning of color-coded weather warnings for cyclone-prone areas given by the IMD. You can add it in climate change, but overall this is a miscellaneous question, okay? But you could have answered if you have done a disaster management class, but don't worry, okay? Miscellaneous you can say, color-coded weather warnings for cyclone. Miscellaneous is, very rare you will get miscellaneous, but anyways, color-coded weather warnings for cyclone. Color-coded weather warnings for cyclone. Very good. Online guys, I'm looking at your message, so don't think that I'm neglecting. If you have any doubts, leave me a message on the YouTube. I'm watching the chat messages, okay? All right. Discuss the natural resource potential of Deccan Trap. Yes or no? Okay, we have already learnt about the resource potential of long coastline of India. They are asking resource potential of Deccan Trap. So this is resource geography, Indian geography, resource potential of Deccan Trap. They are asking resource potential of Deccan Trap. Resource potential of Deccan Trap. Next. Examine the potential of wind energy in India and explain the reasons for their limited spatial spread. Resources, wind energy resources and their limitations. Wind energy resources and their limitations. Indian geography. Wind energy resources and their limitations. And their limitations. Resource geography. Next. What are the forces that influence ocean currents? Describe their role in fishing industry of the world. Physical geography. Okay, factors influencing ocean currents. Okay, physical geography. Physical geography. Factors influencing ocean currents. Yeah, I mean that is a phenomena. You can put it there. Physical geography. Factors influencing ocean currents. And yes, it's fishing industry of the world. It's pretty simple anyways. Describing the distribution of rubber producing countries, indicate the major environmental issues faced by them. Rubber producing countries. Industrial geography. Okay. Rubber producing countries. Okay. You can put it in plantation crops also. Rubber is a plantation crop. Okay. So you can put it in agricultural geography also. There's nothing wrong. Or you can put it in industrial geography. Put it in, for me, it's agricultural geography, to be more specific. Okay, agriculture and allied this thing. Okay, distribution of rubber producing countries of the world. Distribution of rubber producing countries of the world. It's agricultural geography. I'll teach you how to write environmental issues. Don't worry, let it be there. Okay, next. Mention the significance of straits and isthmus in international trade. Mention the significance of straits and isthmus in international trade. Miscellaneous, or I think you can add in something. Mention the significance of straits and isthmus in international trade. Loudly, it's okay if you make a mistake. Regional geography. Okay. What else? Straits and isthmus, are they man-made or physical features? You are understanding this? So can I say it is world physical geography only? Okay. For example, it is like asking, mention the significance of oceans in international trade. I can ask, mention the importance of Western Ghats in the trade of peninsular India. I hope you are understanding. I can ask any physical feature and I can ask you what is the importance in its trade or significance of it in human life. I hope you are understanding this. Physical geography only. Okay, physical geography. significance of straits and isthmus. Significance of straits and isthmus. It is by default international trade only it is significant. Straits and isthmus are basically important for their connectivity and accessibility, and connectivity and accessibility is important for international trade. Okay, so don't worry about it. Significance of straits and isthmus in bracket world geography. Since they are telling international trade, world geography. Next, distribution of rubber producing countries. Distribution of rubber producing countries is world only. Yes, world geography. You can put world geography. Describing the distribution of rubber producing countries. See, they are asking explicitly. You should tell me what are the different countries that are producing rubber. So it is very explicit in world geography. Okay, yes. Troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines weather processes. How? Troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines weather processes. How? Yes or no? Physical geography. Physical geography. See, physical geography has three things. One is geomorphology, the second is climatology, and the third is oceanography. Okay? Physical geography, I hope you understand that. Physical geography, when we say, it is geomorphology, oceanography, and climatology. So, their troposphere is part of climatology. I am not going to such depth, I am just telling you. The moment I say physical geography, it can be either in geomorphology also. For example, straits and isthmus. Which is this? Which in these three parts, geomorphology, climatology, and oceanography, which is straits and isthmus? Geomorphology, which is this? Oceanography, and which is this? Climatology. See, three questions from three different physical geography dimensions. Are you understanding this? Okay. So, troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer, is physical geography, world geography, climate geography, if you want to be more specific. Okay, this is climate geography. Next, we are done with 2022. Let me just give you an example. This is climate geography, this is geomorphology, and this question is oceanography. Oceanography, geomorphology, and climatology together form world physical geography. I know that my students know that very well. I am emphasizing mainly for those students who are looking from YouTube, who get confused with these segregations. Okay. Anyways, so 2021. Let us go to 2021. Okay, now differentiate the causes of landslides in the Himalayan region with Western Ghats. Indian geography, Indian physical geography, it is landslides. Landslides. Indian physical geography, 2021, yes, it's 2021 paper, landslides in WG and Himalayas. Landslides in WG and Himalayas. Western Ghats and Himalayas. Landslides in Western Ghats and Himalayas. Next, despite India being one of the countries of the Gondwana land, its mining industry contributes much less to its GDP in percentage. Discuss. Despite India being one of the countries of the Gondwana land, its mining industry contributes much less to its GDP in percentage. Discuss. Because they have used industry, okay, no problem. Industrial geography, fine. You can either put it in industrial geography because they are talking about mining as an industry, but you can also put it in resource geography because mining is mainly to do with resources. Both are fine. Now tell me the crux. What are they trying to ask here? Contribution of mining industries. Sorry? Resource curse. What are they trying to ask? Despite India being one of the countries of Gondwana land, its mining industry contributes much less to its GDP. Don't you think they're asking challenges of mining industry in India? Okay, right, that is the crux. Challenges of mining industry in India. The crux is challenges of mining industry in India. Challenges of mining industry in India. Okay, next. What are the environmental implications of the reclamation of water bodies in urban land use? Explain with examples. Where will you put this? Look at the table and see. Where will you put this? Miscellaneous. What's the crux? Whenever you are confused where to put this, understand what is the crux. In urban land use, if you take over a lot of water bodies, or if you encroach a lot of water bodies, what will be the environmental consequence? That's what they are asking. So what will be the thematic? Urban geography, then? So what the crux? The crux is implications of reclamation of water bodies in urban areas. Implication of reclamation of water bodies in urban areas. That's all. Implication of reclamation of water bodies. Implication of reclamation of water bodies in urban areas. Reclamation of water bodies in urban areas. Next one, mention the global occurrence of volcanic eruptions in 2021 and their impact on regional environment. Physical geography, okay. Occurrences of volcanic eruptions. In physical geography, you can write occurrences of volcanic eruptions. Occurrences of volcanic eruptions. Okay. Next. Why is India considered a subcontinent? Why is India considered a subcontinent? Basically here you have to talk about Indian physical geography. You have to talk about Himalayas, the Indo-Gangetic Brahmaputra plains, the central islands of India, the Indian peninsula, the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, the Western Coastal Plain and Eastern Coastal, everything you have to talk it together. Okay, the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea, so everything together. Okay, so this is Indian physical geography. Indian physical geography. Indian physical geography. Okay, usually 8 is not part of geography, it is part of society. You can answer it in the angle of society also, but if you answer it more on the lines of geography, it will be much better. That is what I felt. Okay, you can bring social angles also, there is nothing wrong. Okay, but what you should understand is that diversity in the social and cultural factors are coming because of natural divisions only. So, whatever you are talking about the diversity of India, the diversity is a consequence of natural divisions of India. Hence, it will come back to geography as a whole, and hence 8th question I am putting only in this context as geography. Otherwise, usually 8th is society only. Okay. Next. That's why in society I did not discuss that question. Okay, I told I will do it later. Next is 14th one. Briefly mention the alignment of major mountain ranges of the world and explain their impact on local weather conditions with examples. World physical geography. Very good. World physical geography, major mountains of the world. Alignment means how they are formed. How they are formed means it will come back to plate tectonics only. Okay. Major mountains of the world, world geography. I mean, of the world means automatically it's world geography. Anyways, next. How do the melting of the Arctic ice and glaciers of the Antarctic differently affect the weather patterns and human activities on the earth? Explain. Climate change, very good. So here they are talking about two things, melting of the Arctic ice plus glaciers of the Antarctic. Okay, melting of the Arctic ice plus melting of glaciers of Antarctic. Melting of the Arctic ice plus melting of the Arctic ice plus melting of the glaciers of the Antarctic. Why are they calling this as Arctic ice and why are they calling that as glaciers? What are glaciers? Glaciers are nothing but ice on land. Yes or no? Antarctica is a continent on which the ice is standing. Arctic ice is not standing on any land, it is standing on the ocean as such. Okay, so what they are trying to tell you is melting of the Arctic ice plus glaciers of the Antarctic differently affect the weather patterns and climate change. How you have to assess? That we will assess later, but overall in that what you should talk is the melting of the Arctic ice plus the melting of the glaciers of Antarctic. So let it be like this. Okay. One just a question, curious question. Which will lead to sea level rise? A. Melting of the Arctic ice. B. Melting of the glaciers of the Antarctic. C. Both. D. None. Melting of the Arctic ice will lead to sea level rise. The Arctic ice is already on the ocean. Okay, so whatever it melts, it will also go to the ocean only. Antarctic glaciers are on the land. When the Antarctic glaciers will melt, they will become water, and will they stay there or go to the oceans? Which will result in sea level rise. You are understanding this? So, yes, Arctic to some extent, yes, there will always be, but significantly the sea level rise will happen because of glaciers of the Antarctic. When the glaciers of the Antarctic melts, sea level will rise. When the Arctic ice melts, the Arctic ice is there on the ocean only. So significant will sea level rise will not happen. Anyways, I just a curious thing. Discuss the multidimensional implication of uneven distribution of mineral oil in the world. Resource geography, very good. Distribution of mineral oil and its implications. Distribution of mineral oil and its implications. Distribution of mineral oil and its implications. And its implications. Okay, next. 17. What are the main socio-economic implications arising out of the development of IT industries in major cities of India? Industrial geography, what is the crux? Socio-economic implications of IT industries. Socio-economic implications of IT industries. This is more to do with society than geography, but it is okay, write it there. Socio-economic implications of IT industries. Okay, so we are done with 2021. Let's go to 2020. Discuss the geophysical characteristics of circum-Pacific zone. Circum-Pacific zone means what? The Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, that's what they are trying to tell. Okay, what is this? Physical geography. Okay. Circum-Pacific zone characteristics. Physical 2020 question paper. Circum-Pacific zone characteristics in the world physical geography. Circum-Pacific zone characteristics in world geography. Okay, next. The process of desertification does not have climatic boundaries. Justify with examples. Climate change, very good. Okay, climate change. Desertification. In climate change, you say desertification due to climate change. Desertification due to climate change. Next. How will the melting of Himalayan glaciers have a far-reaching impact on the water resources of India? How will the melting of Himalayan glaciers have a far-reaching impact on water resources of India? Yes or no? What is this? This is not resource geography, this is climate change. Okay, Himalayan glaciers are melting, why? Because of climate change only. Okay, so there in climate change, write down melting Himalayan glaciers and its impact on water resources of India. So, in climate change, you can say melting Himalayan glaciers and its impact on climate change in India. I'm sorry, water resources, impact on water resources of India. Sorry. Okay. Account for the present location of financial industries away from the source of raw materials by giving examples. Industrial geography. In industrial geography, write down iron and steel industries. Iron and steel industries. Iron and steel industries. Put an hyphen. Moving away from raw materials. Iron and steel industries moving away from raw materials. Moving away from raw materials. Okay, we are done with the 10 markers. Let us go with the 15 markers. The Interlinking of rivers can provide viable solutions to the multidimensional interrelated problems of droughts, floods, and uninterrupted navigations. Critically examine. Physical geography. What is the crux? Where else can you put this? Regional geography you want to put? Yes. You can put it, no, not climate change, but okay, regional geography you can put. Okay, regional geography. Why? Because it helps overcome these three in a particular region. Okay, by interlinking of rivers. Okay, regional geography, you can say interlinking of rivers can help overcome. Regional geography, interlinking of rivers can help overcome. Floods, droughts, and uninterrupted. Floods, droughts, and interrupted navigation can help overcome floods, droughts, and interrupted navigation. Next, account for the huge flooding of million cities in India, including the smart ones like Hyderabad and Pune. Suggest lasting remedial measures. Urban geography, what's the thematic here? You are correct, urban geography, thematic is urban floods. The thematic is urban floods, or the crux is urban floods. The crux is urban floods. Next, India has immense potential of solar energy, though there are regional variations in its development. Elaborate. Resources. Potential of solar energy in India. Resource geography. Potential of solar energy in India. Potential of solar energy in India. Okay. The next is examine the status of forest resources of India and its resultant impact on climate change. You want to, because you asked at the end impact on climate change, you can put it in climate change, not an issue, but it mainly comes in resources. Okay, the status of forest resources of India. The status of forest resources of India. The status of forest resources of India. Fair enough. Alright, so we have completed the last 6 years. Okay, again, we have completed the last 6 years in a matter of just 1 hour. This one exercise people will not do, but this is the most important exercise that you have to do in every paper. Okay, alright, the same thing goes here also. How are we going to go with the classes? Once we are done with the section of society, then we will start with the section of geography. Here also the same strategy goes. Everywhere, all these things, whatever we have written here, I will first give you the vocabulary, because urban geography has its own vocabulary, resource geography has its own vocabulary, and every geography here has its own vocabulary plus keywords. So what I will do here is, I am not going to take one question at a time and discuss the keywords with you, because you have no idea what the keyword is. You wouldn't have used those keywords in the everyday life. It is not like society or ethics, where I will discuss with you, you will tell me something, I am going to somehow modify that and give a keyword. It doesn't work like that. Here I have to first only give you the keyword, because you don't, or you will not be aware of those keywords. So vocabulary plus keywords will be given by me in the beginning itself as we go one step at a time. Okay. Now after we go one step at a time, let us say that we have completed regional geography. After completing regional geography, let us do all the questions of regional geography. After completing resource geography, let us do all the questions of resource geography. So once we are done with the vocabulary and keywords, then we are going to go, the second stage is we are going to go thematically. We are going to go thematically and write the model answers. Not only will we stop here, the reason why, see, for example, in physical geography, they have asked what are the factors influencing ocean currents. They asked how troposphere plays an important role in the weather conditions. Do you think that they have asked on troposphere? Will they ask it or again? Do you think that they will ask again? They will not. Once a question is, for example, they ask what are twisters? Do you think that they will ask again what are twisters? Here, physical geography thematics. That doesn't mean that I will not do. I am just telling you that whatever has been asked once, they are not going to ask again. Keep that in your mind. Okay, so if they have asked troposphere plays a major role in weather conditions, they are not going to ask troposphere in that context again at all. It is over. I hope you are understanding this. So, first I am going to discuss the vocabulary and keywords of everything. Second, I am going to go thematically and discuss the model answers on everything. And then the third thing is, we are going to go to physical geography. Okay, here we are going to talk about geomorphology, oceanography and climatology on those questions that has not yet come till now, because discussing those questions that have already come is useless. For example, if I give you the write-up on factors influencing ocean currents, they are not going to ask it again. But what can they ask again is the influence of climate change on ocean currents. What they can ask you is the importance of coral reef in ocean marine ecosystem and the vulnerability of coral reef to climate change. I hope you are understanding this. So, physical geography, we have to do it from the beginning. We have to cover geomorphology, we have to cover geomorphology, we have to cover oceanography, and we have to cover climatology in such a way that whatever questions they ask from the rest of the topics that they have not asked, you should be able to write. I hope you are understanding this. So, this will take some efforts. Okay, this will involve a lot of writing because I have to cover. Remember, to teach geography as a subject, it will take months together, which we have to cover in the matter of 5 days. So, you will be writing a lot here. For example, they have asked charts. Charts. Which topic does this come under? This comes in geomorphology, and under geomorphology, which topic does it come under? Are you understanding this? Landforms. In landforms only, you have 5 different landforms. You have riverine landforms, you have aeolian landforms, you have karst landforms, desert landforms and glacial landforms. Within that landforms, you have so many different things. I hope you are understanding this. So, covering, this is one landform in glacial. Charts is one landform in glacial. Remember that we have to cover so many things. I am just telling you the glimpse of how vast covering physical geography is. One mistake what most of the students will do is, according to them, the entire geography that they are preparing for mains is this only. They will keep preparing only this. But look how many questions have come from that. Okay, understand that in geography there are 8 questions. As I told you, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this is 4 into 10 markers. This is 4 into 15 markers. So there are 8 questions in geography every year. Now what you should understand is, in this 8 questions, 4 questions will come from physical geography, 4 questions will come from socio-economic geography. When I say socio-economic geography, it involves everything. Whatever I told there, regional, resource, industry, urban, everything comes together here. So 4 questions will always come on socio-economic geography, 4 questions will always come on physical geography. So if you go just to study physical geography and go, you will not be able to attempt 50% of the questions at all. So keep that in your mind. You should always make sure that you balance both. That is why in our strategy, first we are going to take care of the socio-economic geography. Once we are thorough with the socio-economic geography, then we will go to physical geography. Here, everyone knows what is a cyclone. I am not going to teach how cyclones are forming. My job is, I am going to create 2 questions and give you model answers on cyclones. I am not going to teach how jet streams are formed, but I am going to create 2 questions on jet streams and give you the write-up on jet streams. I hope you are understanding how we will go. I am going to help you create a question bank of all the topics and with model answers, such that if you revise those model answers, it will prospectively help you in the exam if the questions come in physical geography. This is my job. Why? Because writing the model answers that is previously been asked will be of no use in world physical geography. Did you understand this? Okay, so this is how it is going to be. Okay, this is about geography. You can take 2 minutes, go through all the questions. If you have any doubts, please ask. Before we move on to the history part of the GS1. Online guys, I hope it is correct. While creating the online class, I think I have entered a wrong YouTube ID. That's why online the classes are not it is not reflecting there. People can watch it on YouTube. I will recreate the class. So after the class ends, I'm going to recreate the class, and that will help you to watch it again in the website of my portal or my website. Okay. So for now, I hope all the online guys can watch the video on YouTube and make use of this. 2 minutes, guys. If you have any doubts, please ask. I'm going to clarify it here itself. Importance of diagrams. Should we make a chart of diagrams, sir, like maps and political geophysical? Krupa, if you are a mains foundation program student, I will make you do that. But let us assume that you are not also. Don't try to make a list of diagrams telling that I'll keep a separate book for diagrams. It goes on question to question basis. On that particular question that you're writing, let us assume, understand that you are telling me examine the resource potential of long coastline of India. There, draw the coastline of India and show. You can draw the diagram there. Or let us say you are talking about the regional disparity in India. Then give 3-4 states. For example, you talk about Darjeeling Himalayas with Bengal plains, South Karnataka and Hyderabad Karnataka, Vidarbha and Marathwada with Southwest Maharashtra, Rayalaseema of Andhra Pradesh to coastal Andhra of Andhra Pradesh. Like that, you can draw 4 or 5 diagrams, show the regional disparity. And then you draw the entire India map and show the regional diversity. The Himalayas, the Gangetic Plains, the deserts, the Peninsula Plateau. So, what I am trying to tell you is the diagrams should come to the notes on the demand and merit of the question, and not because you are sitting there to collect the diagrams. I hope you understood this. In geography, diagrams are important, but okay. So, keep that in your mind. So, I hope you understood the clarity of how to go about society. Okay, I also hope that you understood how to go about geography. Okay, irrespective of your joining the program or not, you should understand how to, approach these two sections. The third section is history. Okay, as I told you, history has 5 different parts: ancient India, medieval India, modern India, post-independence, and world history. Okay, now look at this. Let us first go off through the previous year. Don't write anything. Okay, don't write any table, anything. Just read out the question to understand how the questions have come. You saw the syllabus points. There were 5 different syllabus points. Now let us look at the previous year questions of how the questions are coming in history, so that you understand how the first you understand how the questions are. Again, 3 10 markers, 3 15 markers, 75 marks. The question number will be 1, 2, 3, and 11, 12, 13. Okay, history section is 75 marks. History section is 75 marks, and 1, 2, 3, and 11, 12, 13. 3 into 10 and 15 into 3. 3 into 10 and 3 into 15. That is 75 marks. All right, Nakchetan. Don't worry, we will do it very comprehensively. Okay, let us start. Just look at the questions, how the questions are coming. The first question is, discuss the salient features of Harappan architecture. Salient features of Harappan architecture. Okay, next. Examine the main aspects of Akbar's religious syncretism. Now, if you look at the syllabus, remember the syllabus, the first bullet point is the art forms, the literature, and the architecture of ancient and medieval India. So, if you take the literature, the art forms, and the architecture of medieval India or ancient India, where will you put this? Are you understanding this? So, my point is, if you strictly adhere to those 3 keywords and prepare, it cannot happen. That is the realization I wanted to make. Okay, but Akbar is a significant feature in medieval India. You should have some idea about what is the contribution of Akbar. Keep that in your mind. Okay, let us go to the next one. So, salient features of Harappan architecture, and the next is they are asking, examine the aspects of Akbar's religious syncretism. Next, the sculptors filled the Chandela art form with resilient vigor and breadth of life. Elucidate. So, here they are talking about Chandelas, and mainly in Chandelas they are talking about sculpture. Okay, next. So, you have ancient India, then you have medieval India, then you have art and culture. Next. This is 2025 paper. Look at this. Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, writings and efforts of social reforms touched issues of almost all subaltern classes. Don't you think that this is modern India? Social reforms or renaissance. That is what is this? Next. Trace India's consolidation process during early phase of independence in terms of polity, economy, education, and international relations. What is this? Post-independence. Next. The French Revolution has enduring relevance to the contemporary world. Explain. Are you understanding this? See, one question ancient India, one question medieval India, one question art and culture, one question on freedom struggle, not freedom struggle, modern India, one question on post-independence, are you understanding this? So, this is the most recent paper, 2025 paper. So, what UPSC is telling you is, you have to learn everything and go. Yes, if you go backwards, the number of questions asked in post-independence and world history diminishes. They ask any one. Either they'll ask post-independence or they'll ask world history. They'll not ask both also. But if you take the most recent, they are telling you that you have to study everything and go. So don't skip anything here. But how to not overdo also I will teach. But the first realization is, don't skip any part. All the parts are important. Okay. So you understood 2025. Let us go to 2024. We will go to 2024. Now, underline the changes in the field of society and economy from the Rig Veda to later Vedic period. Ancient India, but in ancient India, what does the syllabus say? The syllabus says, learn about the art forms, literature, architecture of ancient and medieval period. Now, if you have studied like that and went, can you answer this question? Because what are the angles asked here? Yes, Vedic period is ancient only, but angles asked is, look at this. So, if the angles asked is society and economy, and you have studied art forms, architecture and literature and gone, you cannot say that, sir, they are asking outside the syllabus. You do not have the scope. The realization here is, you have to know ancient India in holistic manner. Okay, anyways, next. Estimate the contribution of Pallavas of Kanchi for the development of art and literature of South India. Okay, alright, next. What were the events that led to Quit India movement? Point out its results. Okay, so you have one ancient India, one medieval India, and then one modern India. Clear with this? Next. Though the great Cholas are no more, yet their name still is remembered with great pride because of their highest achievements in the domain of art and architecture. Comment. Okay, they are again talking about medieval India. Okay, Cholas. Next. How far is it correct to say that the First World War was fought essentially for the preservation of balance of power? World geography, world history. Okay. How far was the Industrial Revolution in England responsible for the decline of handicrafts and cottage industries in India? This is modern India. Okay, this is the British rule in India. That is what they are talking about. Okay, all right. So if you see modern India, world history, medieval India, ancient India, medieval India, and modern India. Are you seeing this? They are picking from everything. You cannot. There is no scope. And in the previous, they had asked about. Now they have asked about Pallavas, they have asked about Cholas. In the previous, they had asked about Chandelas, they had asked about Akbar. Is there any thematic here? Are you understanding this? They can ask you anything from any part, but that doesn't mean it is very abstract. Everyone is mainstream, they are asking. They are not asking some ancient India, something that you have not heard only. Everyone would have studied these things in their prelims. Okay, keep this in your mind. Okay, so you saw 2025 paper, 2024 paper, the next is 2023 paper. 2023 paper. Explain the role of geographical factors towards the development of ancient India. So basically, don't you think that to answer this, you should know the entire ancient India? When they say geographical factors, the invasions that happened is mainly due to the passes that are present in the northwest India. Are you understanding this? The wars that happened is basically because of the soil that is important in Gangetic plains. Are you understanding this? The demarcations of ancient kingdoms happened because of the borders that was formed by the rivers of India. So, like this, if you want to answer what are the geographical features, you have to know the entire ancient India in a glimpse. Different kingdoms in different period, what were the important features, like that you should add. Why was Pataliputra made the capital? Why was it made the capital? Because it was surrounded by rivers on all sides. It had better security. Why did Magadha rise to power? Because of geographical factors. It can be the water, it can be the wood from the forest, it can be the soil that will give you the food surplus. Are you understanding this? So this is how you have to argue. Now if you have to use the geographical features to argue, you should know ancient India very well. Okay, next. What was the difference between Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore in their approach towards education and nationalism? Okay, modern India. Okay, next. Bring out the socio-economic effects of introduction of railways. This is a geography question. Okay, it is a geography question. Next. What are the main features of Vedic society and religion? Do you think some of the features are still prevailing in Indian society? Ancient India. Okay, again, Vedic society and religion. Next. What were the major technological changes introduced during the Sultanate period? How did those technological changes influence the Indian society? From which part of the syllabus are they asking? There is nothing like that. Just because you have mentioned medieval India, it is coming like this. Sultanate period is medieval India. So you have to know this. The technological changes that happened was mainly to do with construction. That is what they are asking. The moment they say technology, it doesn't mean don't think only from nowadays. If you think technology, it is mainly mobile phones, artificial intelligence, data. Technology means application of science. in our real world use. Okay, so whatever technological changes that happened during the Sultanate period was mainly to do with the construction and not any other things. That is what they are trying to ask you. Okay, anyways. How did the colonial rule affect the tribals in India, and what was the tribal response to the colonial oppression? Modern India, tribal revolts. Okay, so now see, 2023, post-independence also is not there, world history is also not there. So as I go backwards, these two will not be there. But don't assume that, so next year it will not be there. You should know that 2024 and 2025 it was there. That means 2026 also it will be there. So just because you're going back and you're not finding world history and post-independence, don't think that I can skip it and go. You cannot skip it and go. You have to know that. Clear with this? Okay, so those students who are not going to join the program, it is okay, but don't skip anything. Post-independence and world history is also very, very important. Okay, so we are done with 2023, 2022. How will you explain the medieval Indian temple sculptures represent the social life of those days? To answer this question, don't you think that you need to have a glimpse of the entire medieval India? You need to know the temples of Chandelas, you need to know the temples of Gangas of Odisha, you need to know the temples of Chalukyas of Gujarat, you need to know the temples of Chawans, Gahadawalas, Kalachuris. See, everyone's temple architecture you should know to answer this. Otherwise, you will not be able to answer such questions. Clear with this? Okay, next. Why did the armies of the British East India Company, mostly comprising of Indian soldiers, win consistently against the more numerous and better equipped armies of the then Indian rulers? Okay, modern India. Here, many people will tell British army, better equipment, better, organized order, hierarchy system was all there. But why the armies mostly comprising of Indian soldiers win consistently? The main reason why they won consistently is because of the strategy. The strategy goes like this. They go from Battle of Plassey. From Battle of Plassey, they go to Battle of Buxar. From Battle of Plassey, they go to Battle of Vandivash. From Battle of Vandivash, they go to Battle of Buxar. From Battle of Buxar, they start acquiring the territories and becoming dominant. That is how you have to tell. So, what happened in Plassey that made the army stronger? What made Vandivash, post-Vandivash battle, what made the British army stronger? Post the Battle of Buxar, what made it even more stronger? You have to talk on those lines, not just tell that army was better equipped, better guns, better systems. That is not how the answer should be written. So, to tell like that, one after the other, you should know the history very well. That is what is the overall. Why am I re-emphasizing the same point again and again and again is the question that they are asking cannot be written if you know some parts of the history very well. The question can be written if you know history very well. Ancient India, I have a good idea about ancient India, sir. I have a good idea about modern India, sir. I have a good idea about medieval India or post-independent. That idea should be there. Okay. Anyways, I'll simplify it. Don't start getting afraid that, sir, what? I'll simplify it. But I'm just telling you the demands of the exam. Okay. Next. Why was there a sudden spurt in famines in colonial India since the mid-18th century? Give reasons. Modern India. Okay. Colonial India means obviously modern India. Next. The political and administrative reorganization of states and territories has been continuous ongoing process since the mid-19th century. Okay, mid-19th century means 1850s. Discuss with examples. Modern India. That is, they are basically telling that from the decline of Mughals, the Indian states are being reorganized continuously. Why? That's all they are asking. From the decline of Mughals, all the small kingdoms, the Diwans were subsidiary or feudatory of Mughals declared their own independence. It can be Awadh, it can be Hyderabad, it can be Bengal. All these people declared their independence. Then there was Marathas, then there was Rajputs, then there was Jats. I hope you understand this. So India was already reorganized. Then comes the British. When the British comes, they will reorganize furthermore. They will remove the French and reorganize furthermore. So that is what you have to keep arguing here. Okay. Anyways, that is about this one. Next. Discuss the main contributions of Gupta period and Chola period to Indian heritage. See, they are asking Gupta also. That will cover the ancient India. Then they are asking Chola also. That is cover the medieval India. Next. Discuss the significance of lion and bull figures in Indian mythology, art and architecture. Look at this. Lion and bull figures. So, you have to start from Indus Valley. From Indus Valley is the seals. You have to go to Mauryans. Then you have to go to Guptas. Then you have to go to Chola, Cheras and Pandyas in the south. Then you have to go to other kingdoms. So, every kingdom you have to see, did they use lion and bull figures, and you have to tell the significance. If you can tell that, if you have a very good grip on history. I hope you are understanding this. Okay. Alright. So 2022 is done. 2021. Evaluate the nature of the Bhakti literature and its contribution to Indian culture. Okay, medieval India, literature. This is straightforward. They are asking from literature, Bhakti literature, you should know. Not simple question. Trace the rise and growth of socio-religious reform movements with special reference to Young Bengal and Brahmo Samaj. Okay, again, socio-religious movement of India or Renaissance in India, everything is the same topic. They had asked in 2025 about Jyotirao Bapule and social reforms. Now they are asking this. Okay. Next, assess the main administrative issues and socio-cultural problems in the integration of assess the main administrative issues and socio-cultural problems in the integration process of Indian princely states, which is this, post-independence India. Okay, the integration of princely states, we have to mainly talk about the Junagadh, the Kashmir and Hyderabad, the three parts where we had the problem. That's what they're asking. Okay, next. We're done with this. To what extent did the role of the moderates prepare a base for the wider freedom movement? Comment. The moderates freedom struggle, the role of moderates in freedom struggle. Okay. Bring out the constructive programs of Mahatma Gandhi during the non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement. Okay. Again, direct question, modern India. There arose a serious challenge to the democratic system. There arose a serious challenge to the democratic state system between the two world wars. Evaluate the statement. World history. Now, see, 2 questions of 15 markers plus 1 question of 10 marker. 1 question of 10 marker. So, only from modern India, they are asking 40 marks. When? Now, will they ask so much? Now, in 2025, they have made sure that in every section, 1 question should come. So, don't think that I will study only modern India and go. Let me skip others. I'll study only ancient, medieval, modern India, I'll skip post-independence and world history. Don't do that now. The trend has changed now. You should have an idea on everything. Okay? Alright. So, I think we are done with 2021. Let's go to the last one, 2020. Okay? Now, the rock cut architecture represents one of the most important source of our knowledge of early Indian art and history. Discuss. Okay. Mainly they are talking, when they talk like this, the rock cut architecture, which period will you talk this from? You talk from the Mauryans, post-Mauryans, Guptas. That is where the rock cut architecture dominated. So if you want to answer this question, you should have a good knowledge. I'm not telling you should be an expert. That is a wrong word. But you should have a good knowledge about when rock cut architecture happened. If you don't know that much, then you are bayarting. Okay, next. See, Pala period is the most significant phase in the history of Buddhism in India. Enumerate. Palas is not some small kingdom to, no, Palas was the last kingdom where Buddhism was there in North India. After Palas, Buddhism goes. That is, the Buddhism goes under rapid decline in India. That's why they are asking this question, Pala. See, Pallavas they asked, Cholas they asked, Guptas they asked, Akbar they asked, Palas they asked. See, they are asking everything they want to. There is no thematic at all here. Okay, next. Evaluate the policies of Lord Curzon and their long-term implications on the national movement. Evaluate the policies of Lord Curzon and their implications on long-term implications. Where is this? Modern India? Very good. Direct question that is. Indian philosophy and tradition played a significant role in conceiving and shaping the monuments and their art in India. Here, look at this. They are telling you, connect the philosophy with architecture. This is what they are telling. So, you have to connect the philosophy with stupa. You have to connect the philosophy with tombs. You have to connect the philosophy with temples. You have to connect the philosophy with palaces. You have to connect the philosophy with gardens. Look at this. If you have to connect the philosophy with so many different architectures or monuments, you need to have a good grasp. Otherwise, you will not be able to connect it. You got it? Anyways, next. Persian literary sources of medieval India reflect the spirit of the age. Comment. Now, why are they asking Persian literary? Why are they not asking Hindi literary? Because Persia is the official language of medieval India. From the start of Delhi Sultanate till the time of William Bentinck, Persian was the official language of India, medieval India. So, they are not asking something abstract. So, when you say, okay sir, they watched Persian literary sources, now I will practice Hindi, Urdu, Kannada, they will not ask questions like that. So, if you practice like that, you are actually not going in the lines of what UPSC is asking. So, don't do that. That strategy will not work here. Sir, X sources on medieval India, can I do like that? It doesn't work like that. In history, it doesn't go like that. So, that is why I am emphasizing that this requires a different strategy. Okay. Last one. Since the decade of the 1920s, the national movement acquired various ideological strands and thereby expanded its social base. Discuss. Since the decade of 1920s, so modern India obviously. So, in the 1920s, you get the youth movements, you get the peasant movements, you get the trade unions, you get the communism, socialism, you also get the religious revivalists, religious reformists, then you have the no changers, then you have the Swarajes. See, so many ideological strands are coming up during this period. So, that is what they want you to argue. Okay. Anyways, this is again modern India. So, overall, you saw what is history. In history, thematic approach will not work. So, if thematic approach will not work, then what will work? What will work is you have ancient India, you have medieval India. Okay, here only I am going to put art and culture also. Okay, then you have modern India plus freedom struggle. Then you have post-independence. Then you have world history. Okay, so broadly these are the 5 sections. First stage, which I will help you out today only. First stage is prepare timeline in the form of blocks. Okay, this is the first thing I want you to do. Prepare timeline in the form of blocks. Okay, the next thing that I want you to do is every block prepare probable important questions. Every block prepare probable important questions, and every question write the model answer. You can see and write the model answer. You can see and write. Okay, you can take the help of ChatGPT also. Here, not the model answers. Here, ChatGPT also you can take help for model answers, but don't entirely take the help. You can use that also as a substitute, but you have to research some websites because ChatGPT can give you wrong informations. So be careful. I'm not telling here also you can use, but overall this should be the entire approach how you should go for history. If you do this in history, you will tell, sir, let them ask anything, I will write. That is the advantage of this approach. Okay. So every block prepare important questions. If you take all these things, broadly let us assume that there are 30 questions in every block. 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 150 questions. So you will have a question bank of, in this stage, you will have a question bank of around 150 questions and answer bank. This is the end goal, guys. The end goal of the entire exercise is, by the end of this, If you have prepared question, model answers on 150 questions, you are done. I am going to anyway now, after this I am going to give you the blocks. You can extract what can be the questions from that block and write the answers. Hardly, if you give 150 questions, right? If you, let us say that you are going to prepare 10 questions every day, not the, if you sit for 4 days and give 10 hours, you can finish in 4 days only. I am just telling that if you give 10 questions per day, okay, if you give 10 questions per day, that is, let us say every day you give 3 hours and prepare on 10 questions, in 15 days you are done with history. This is how you have to complete history. Many people, what they do, they'll keep the same books that they studied for prelims. They feel that by revising the same books, I'll be able to write the answer. You cannot. Extracting the introduction of Guptas, extracting the conclusion of Guptas, extracting the sculptural significance of Guptas, that is not that easy from the book that you have studied for prelims. Prelims will be very content dense. It will not be dimension dense. Here you require dimensions. That is why I am telling you, read the book that you have studied for prelims. There's nothing wrong. But after reading that book that you have studied for prelims, you have to convert that into a question and answer. Only then your utility of that knowledge from your book to the paper increases. I hope you understood this, and that is why this works. Okay, so the end goal is this. This is the end goal. Don't overdo it. That is why I am giving you the end goal. Some people, what they do, in ancient India only they'll put 100 questions. Because they now have that FOMO. Indus Valley civilization only they'll create 10 questions. I will teach you, I will tell you how to do the questions also, but don't overdo it. It is not about covering all angles that you can. It is about covering the most probable questions from a block, that's all. When I say most probable, in Indus Valley, what is the most probable that they can ask? 3 angles they can ask. The first angle is Indus Valley and urban civilization. That is one. Second they can ask is art forms. It can be bead making, jewel making, sculpture making, pottery making, whatever, art forms. That is one question that they can ask. So one is, how is Harappan and urban civilization? That they can ask. Second they can ask Harappan and art forms. Next they can ask Harappan and architecture. And the fourth they can ask Harappan and socio-economic relations. See, I am done with 4. If you start, how is Kalibangan important? That's only one question. How is Mohenjo-daro important? That's only one question. How is, if you start doing like that, you are overdoing it. So you should not overdo it. So whenever you take any one block, you have to think broadly what can be the questions, prepare answers on that and go. Now the next question comes, sir, what if I have prepared on that 4 probable questions on IVC, what if the 5th question comes? First of all, that 4 question only people will not be able to write properly and you will write properly. And if the 5th question comes, after preparing so nicely also you are not able to write, others people will be struggling there. So don't worry about it. If the 5th question comes, whatever knowledge you have in that 4 questions, you will use that to write some answer. But if you always fear that I want to write perfect answer on that 5th question also, you are going to overdo this. Please don't do that. Okay? Okay? Shall I give you these blocks? Okay? Now, people who are going to attend my class tomorrow, I am not going to retell anything whatever I have told today. I hope that you people have got the information written down. Tomorrow we will be starting with the class. Okay? That's why I am trying to make it as comprehensive as possible. Okay. So write down the blocks. Ancient India. The first is Ancient India. Okay. First is every box I put is a block. Okay, Indus Valley Civilization, this is a block. Megaliths, this is a block. Now tell me, what can be the probable question on megaliths? If you studied history, you will know what's the probable question. There can only be one question because information about megaliths is limited. But what is that one question that can come on megaliths? Very good. The one question that can come on megaliths is burials. What are the different styles of burials, or what does the burials imply philosophically, culturally? That is how they can come. I will be understanding this. So you should have some knowledge about what can be the probable question, and that probable question will rely on what is the significance. What is the significance of IVC? On that only probable question will come. IVC's significance is urban culture, architecture, art forms, socio-economic. That's why questions can come on those lines. So every block, understand what is its significance, and automatically you will get it. Okay. So these three are always together. So that's why I've written like this. Then you have the Vedic age or Vedic period. Here you have early Vedic, later Vedic. Early Vedic period and later Vedic period. Okay. Here you have Movendars. When I say Movendars, it means Tamilakam. It means Tamilakam. Okay, Tamilakam or Sangam age. Tamilakam or Sangam age. So what am I trying to do? This is North India and this side is South India. Okay, so here you have Jana, here you have Janapada. So obviously if you have Janapada, then the next is, very good, Maha Janapadas. And from that Maha Janapadas, who will emerge? Magadha. From that Maha Janapadas, you have Magadha. So whenever I put a box, that means one block. So don't overdo it. In Magadha, maximum one question can come, not more than that. Okay, don't make one question on Udayin, don't make one question on Ajatashatru, don't make one question on Bimbisara, don't do like that. Questions will not come like that. But if there is Ashoka, one question on Ashoka you should do. So any significant ruler, do one question. Don't do it on every ruler that you will see. That is not worth in doing it. Again, Movendars, Tamilakam, they will continue here also. Movendars. If I am putting circle, it means it's repeating. Okay, so once you have done, don't repeat it. Chintan, I will give you all the blocks today only. Okay, till world history I will give. Don't worry. The same blocks we will do in the class also. Okay. Shall we proceed? Okay, so I will go there. You can continue. So you have Magadha, you have Movendars. You have Magadha, you have Movendars. Movendars means Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas. This is ancient Cholas, not the medieval Cholas. Cheras and Pandyas. Okay. So from here, you go next to Mauryans. From here you go next to Mauryans. Here also you go to Movendars only. Movendars. Okay. Shall we continue? Okay, so from Mauryans, then comes the post-Mauryan period. Then comes the post-Mauryan period. Okay, now comes Kadambas, Chalukyas of Badami. Sorry, not Chalukyas, Pallavas, sorry. Kadambas and Pallavas of Mahabalipuram. Okay, post-Mauryan period. Who are there? North India, you have Sungas. West India, you have invasion. Invasion you have in 3 different phases. The first is Indo-Greeks. The second is Parthians. The third is Shakas, Rudradaman, remember? And the last is Kushanas. See, in Kushanas, you have to prepare one question on Kanishka. One question can come on Kanishka and Buddhism. Okay, so you should know like that. This entire invasion only you prepare one question. Okay, don't prepare on every individual ones. Entire invasion. In that invasion question only you talk contribution of Indo-Greeks, Parthians, Shakas and Kushanas. So that is one question. After that, Kanishka has one question. That's all. 2 questions from that. One question on Sungas, because they were the one who uphold or who help in the revival of Brahminical supremacy. They are the ones who start the rebirth of Sanskrit. Because Mauryans, it was rise of heterodoxy. This is revival of orthodoxy. So temples will start, Sanskrit will start, caste system will again become dominant. Mahabharata and Ramayana gets translated. I hope you are understanding this. So that is something. So Northwest India, South India, anyway you have Pallavas of Mahabalipuram. Okay, and Central India, you have Satavahanas. So you have Central India, West India, North India. South India is here. Satavahanas, one question is more, one question on their socio-economic, one question on their trade and ports. Okay. And one question on their cultural significance, because Buddhism, they also have helped in Buddhism. Okay. So like that, you will understand their contributions, but overall this is how you have to do it. This Kadambas only one question is enough, Pallavas is one question is enough. I mean 2 questions, Pallavas 2 questions are enough. Anyways, next, shall we move to the next one? Okay. Why Pallavas 2 questions is enough is because this is where Bhaktism starts. Okay, Bhaktism starts here, but anyways, let us move to the next one. So the next block, post-Mauryans, Pallavas you have. The next is, very good, the next is Guptas. Okay, golden age of ancient India. So you should know what Guptas very well. So Guptas, along with Guptas, there was in Central India, Vakatakas. And along with Vakatakas in South India, there was Chalukyas of Badami. And then there is Pallavas of Mahabalipuram. Pallavas of Mahabalipuram. Sorry. This anyway we are repeated already. These are the important blocks. Okay. The next is post-Gupta. You have Maukaris, you have Gadawalas, you have Maitrikas, but they are not going to ask in prelims, you have to know the detail. But in mains, all you have to know is post-Gupta, you have Harshavardhana. Okay, here you should know Harshavardhana. Then here automatically Chalukyas of Badami and Pallavas repeat. Chalukyas of Badami. This we have anyway done. Pallavas of Mahabalipuram. Pallavas of Mahabalipuram. This circle. Okay, let us quickly just touch upon what are the important art and cultural aspects in this entire timeline. Okay, if I go back here, IVC art forms are very important, correct? Like bead making, jewel making, sculpture making, pottery making, that art forms are very important. Okay, megaliths, burials are very important. Vedic age, what is very important? You have Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Athurveda, all these Vedas. Then you have Brahmanas, then you have Aranyakas, then you have Upanishads. So all this literature comes in Vedic period. So literature is very important here. Then what happens here? I'll write in another color. The rise of heterodoxy. That means the rise of Buddhism and Jainism. The rise of Buddhism and Jainism. Okay, here comes Sangam literature. The famous Sangam literature. This is mainly literature. We have Vedas, Brahmanas, Upanishads, Aranyakas, Smritis. No, Smritis will come in Guptas. Okay, let it be there. Okay. Next. The next is, if you take Magadha, nothing significant is there. Mauryans, the most significant is administration, rock cut architecture, inscriptions, Ashoka, and climax of heterodoxy school. Climax of heterodoxy school, and you have stupas. Climax of heterodoxy schools, and you have stupas. Okay, Kanishka is important here. Sunga's revival of orthodoxy. Let's put it like that. Orthodoxy. Satavahana's administration, trade, and Buddhism. Administration, trade, and Buddhism. Pallavas of Mahabalipuram, sculpture, and obviously temple architecture. Sculpture and temple architecture. I'm just mentioning important cultural aspects. That doesn't mean that every block question should be there. I'm just mentioning some important ones, whichever I can remember. Okay, next. Shall I move to the next one? Guptas. The main thing is literature. Okay, if you want, you can also write administration. Feudalism starts here, so they can ask on those lines, administration. Then you can talk about rock cut architecture. You can talk about Samudragupta. Vakatakas, you can talk about the rock cut architecture. Chalukyas of Badami, you can talk about Vesara, style of architecture. Harshavardhana, you can talk about Buddhism. You can talk about literature. These are some important ones that you can focus on. Whatever I have written in yellow are some important ones, but every block, make sure that the question is done properly. Probable questions. Shall we start medieval India? Okay, now give the block as medieval Indian blocks. Leave 1 or 2 pages and go to medieval India. Go to medieval India. It starts with tripartite struggle for Kannauj. Tripartite struggle for Kannauj. The tripartite struggle will be between Palas, Pratiharas, and Rashtrakutas. They themselves are important. This thing. So I'm going to. This is block 1. This is block 2. This is block 3. They can ask one question on that itself. Rashtrakutas, Palas, and Pratiharas. Okay, then comes the era of Rajputs. Era of Rajputs. Here you have Chauhans of Ajmer, Tomars of Delhi, Gahadawalas of Kannauj, Paramaras of Malwa, Chandelas of Bundelkhand, Kalachuris of Jabalpur, Chalukyas of Gujarat. Okay. Basically, see, this entire thing, what you should learn is temple architecture in medieval India. See the Nagara style. Nagara style temple architecture reaches its climax. The temple architecture in Nagara style reaches its climax. Plus, you should know about sculpture. Overall, all these kingdoms, if you know this, that is the main, this thing. Here, Palas, automatically you should know everything, one question, but here, miniature painting starts. That is one of the very important thing, miniature painting. And this is the last refuge of Buddhism. Last refuge of Buddhism. Rashtrakutas again, Jain literature peaked. The peak of Jain literature. Chauhans, Tomars, Gahadawalas, Paramaras, Chandelas, Kalachuris, Chalukyas of Gujarat. Climax means peak. Okay, it peaks. Climax of heterodoxy means it is peaked there. Climax of this thing. See, I'll tell you. One more thing you can add. Dravidian temple architecture starts in Pallavas. Its climax is in Cholas. Medieval Cholas. I'll come there. Its climax is in Cholas, but it starts in Pallavas. So whenever I say climax, it is peaked. Okay, it has peaked. Here, look at this. In this Western India, when the invasion happens, this is climax of sculpture. Climax of sculpture. When I say climax of sculpture, can anyone guess what is that climax? You have Takshashila school of sculpture, Mathura school of sculpture, Amravati school of sculpture. All the three schools come there. Invasion. Okay, during the time of invasion, all the three schools. Remember, Kanishka is the patron of both Takshashila school as well as Mathura school. Okay, Satvahanas are patrons of Amravati school. So the sculpture climax happened there. That is what I mean climax. Okay. One more thing in Pallavas I forgot to tell is now the start of Bhaktism. Start of Bhaktism. So Bhaktism or Bhakti literature starts now. Okay, start of Bhaktism or Bhakti literature. I hope you understood what is this. Okay, so let us go back to this. We have gone to Guptas, post-Guptas, tripartite struggle, era of Rajputs. See, now because India is divided into several small kingdoms, invasion starts. There is Ghazni, there is Gori. So that will translate into the next one. That is Battle of Tarin and Battle of Chandawar. Battle of Tarin and Battle of Chandawar. This will start the Turkish rule in India. This will start the Turkish rule in India, and the start of Turkish rule in India is what is called Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so the next block is Delhi Sultanate. So in Delhi Sultanates you have slave dynasty, then you have Khilji, Then you have Tughlaq. Then you have Sayyids and Lodis. Don't go individually and write, it is not that important, but overall broadly you know what are the administration. The next is Indo-Islamic architecture. Okay. Indo-Islamic architecture. And the coming of Sufism. The coming of Sufism. Okay. So after this, the next comes Mughals. The next comes, I'll write it here, but you write it next, Mughals. Okay, so in Mughals, you have Babur, Humayun. In brief period, you have Sher Shah Suri. Then you have Akbar. Then you have Shah Jahan, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. Okay, so here, what are the things that you should focus on? One, Persian literature. Second, translations. Next, architecture, especially tomb and garden architecture. The next is miniature painting. Miniature painting. And automatically, if there is an important ruler, then you have to know about the important ruler also. Akbar. Okay. Persian literature, translation, architecture, tomb and garden architecture, miniature paintings. These are the most important ones. Akbar. Even Sher Shah Suri is important. So he's an important ruler. The changes that he has done. Okay, that is again becoming, that is very important. So you should know that. So when you say miniature painting, the contribution starts from Humayun. That is, he brings the painters from Persia. Then the Fatehpur Sikri, Akbar will open a separate department. Then Jahangir will introduce animistic or animal oriented paintings and portrait paintings. Shah Jahan will start introducing artificial elements and precious stones inside the painting. So when you take one theme, you have to explain everyone. I hope you are understanding this. So why am I giving you this dynasties? When you take Indo-Islamic architecture, how the architecture evolved in Tughlaq, how was it different in Khilji, how was it if different, that in the answer only you should write. Don't write architecture and tell the same thing generically. I hope you are understanding this. That is why I am giving you the list. The list should, even here also, see, Why am I giving you the list is, when you talk about the climax of Nagara temple architecture, you should have some points about Tomars, Chauhans, Ghadavalas, Paramara. For example, Tomars of Delhi, not that much is there. But Chandela's very high points are there. So you should know whatever points are there, make sure that points come there. It should be specific. The answer should be specific. That's why I'm giving you the list. Okay. All right. So this is also done. This is also done. Mughals are done. Now, give the block as modern India block. Give the block as modern India block. Modern India block. Okay. So you have decline of Mughals. Decline of Mughals. From there you have advent of Europeans. You can prepare one question on this, advent of Europeans, and then British consolidation plus expansionist policies. British consolidation and expansionist policies. From there you have revolt of 1857. Revolt of 1857. Then you have era of modern nationalism. Era of modern nationalism. Then you have the Indian National Congress. Era of moderates. Swadeshi movement. Then you have era of extremists. Then you have Home Rule League. Then you have Gandhian phase. Then you have non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement. Then you have Gandhiji's constructive work. Then you have 1920s rise of different ideological strands. Rise of different ideological strands. Then you have civil disobedience movement. Then you have Congress rule. In British provinces. Then you have Quit India movement. One question on every block is enough. Now, how should your question be framed? The question should be framed in such a way that it should address two parts. Every question should address cause plus consequence. Every question should have what are the causes and what were the implications. What were the causes of Swadeshi movement? What were the implications of Swadeshi movement? What was the cause for the rise of moderates? What were the implications of moderates on Indian nationalistic consciousness? So whatever you study in modern this block, it should be cause, consequences. That is how your question should be. Okay, if you cover like that, more or less, what was the cause for the declaration of civil disobedience movement? What was the consequences of it? So whatever you take it from the angles of cause, consequence. That will be good. Okay, along with this, one theme that is very, very important that you should know is socio-religious movements. Socio-religious movements. Okay, this is the first theme. At least frame 3 to 4 questions on this socio-religious movement. The second is tribal revolts. Tribal revolts. The third is peasant revolts. Tribal revolts, peasant revolts. That is enough. Okay, don't overdo it. I can give you 10 different thematics, but I don't want to overdo it. I can tell educational reforms, judicial reforms, police reforms, press reforms. Don't overdo it. That's enough. Okay. But this social-religious reform movement, again, here also inside, don't overdo it. On Brahma Samaj only, don't frame one question. Okay, what you can do is on women, on caste discrimination, on child marriage, on widow remarriage, on like that thematics you take. Okay, so like that you can take and frame one question. Okay, there when you're talking about the answer, bring different thinkers. When you tell abolishing child marriages, you have to talk about Mulberry, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, okay, Karve. You have to bring them and talk. So write the answers like that. That's what I'm trying to tell. All right. Anyways, this is modern Indian bloc. Now they have asked about Curzon. Sir, should I go on creating question on every Governor General? Not necessary. If in case, let us say they asked about someone, with your prelims residual knowledge only you can write, whatever it is. But don't prepare separate question on every Governor General. Then it becomes burden for you to revise. Don't do that. And the utility is very less. Curzon they had asked long back, 3-4 years back. Now such questions are not coming. Okay, so I don't think that it is necessary for you to learn like that. Okay, and anyway you would have studied for prelims. So you will have some knowledge about all the Governor Generals. So it is not like you don't know nothing. Okay, you can manage somehow. So don't worry about it. So this is about modern India. Is modern India done? Okay, yes. Quit India movement. Okay, modern India is done. The next one. The next block is post-independence block. The next block is post-independence block. Post-independence block. So there you have phase 1, 1947 to 1950. Phase 1 is 1947 to 1950. This is called nation building phase. This is called nation building phase. You have integration of princely states, then you have partition and refugee crisis, then you have Kashmir dispute. Okay, so this is phase 1. Next is phase 2. Phase 2 is 1950 to 1964. This is called planning phase. This is called planning phase. You have land reforms, rise of scientific institutions or science institutions. This is where you have the ISRO, ICMR, IITs, all these things coming up, rise of scientific institutions. Then you have linguistic reorganization of states. Linguistic reorganization of States. And then you have Indian foreign policy. In Indian foreign policy, two things: Panchashil plus non-aligned movement. Panchashil and non-aligned movement. Shall we continue? Phase 3. Shall I continue? Phase 3. Phase 3 is 1964 to 1974. Sorry, 1977. 1964 to 1977. This is called crisis phase. This is called crisis phase. Here you have the start of regionalism. Regionalism, that is son of the soil doctrine. Son of the soil doctrine. The next is rise of Naxalism. Rise of Naxalism. Population explosion. Population explosion. Emergency. Emergency. Okay, and the next is rise of communalism. Rise of communalism. Okay, Punjab. So you have regionalism, you have Naxalism, you have communalism. That's why it's called crisis phase. This is called the phase, crisis phase. '64, 1964 to 77. The next is phase 4, 1977 to 1989. 1977 to 1989. This is, and one more thing here, nationalization. Okay, nationalization of banks, nationalization of companies. So that is one more thing that happens. Phase 4 is democratization. Democratization of politics phase. Democratization of politics phase. Here you have rise of regional parties. The next is Green Revolution. So here you have coalition, the start of coalition politics. Next, Assam Movement for Identity. And the last is Operation Blue Star. Okay. Phase 4 is done. The next is phase 5. Phase 5, you have 1989 onwards. 1989 onwards. Welfare plus liberalization phase. Welfare plus liberalization phase. LPG. Next, India's nuclear power doctrine. Next, this is market reforms. The next is right-based welfare. Okay, that can be RTE, RTI, or right to employment. Okay, this is post-independence India. Okay. World history block, I'll do later because looking at your faces, if I carry on with the world history block, I don't think that you can carry it. So let us conclude it. Okay, I'll give the world history block later, but I hope you understood the idea. Okay, you can get the blocks anywhere you want to, but the idea is don't overdo it. Okay, you should know where to draw the line, and where to draw the line is in every block, see what can be the probable questions and only prepare on the probable questions. Don't prepare on exhaustible questions. In a block, if you enumerate or if you list down all the exhaustive questions and then start writing the answer, it will become burdensome. Okay, so in the entire history block, the maximum questions that you should write is around 150 questions. Let us say maximum 150 to 170 questions. That is more than enough. Apart from that, you should not go. So then what happens? Ancient, medieval, art and culture, modern India, world history and post-independence. To revise that 150 questions will hardly take you 2 days. Imagine the power that you have to revise the entire history in the matter of just 2 days. But if you want to get to that position of power, now is the position of efforts. It will take time to write. You have to sit and write. One of my students came and told that, sir, I am applying your same approach in optionals. I have taken the last 10 years of question paper, divided them chapter wise, and I am writing the model answers. But it is taking a lot of time. It should take a lot of time. You think Spain won the World Cup just like that? They were naturally talented and they won? Do you even know that for the last 20 years, they would have sacrificed everything to maintain the discipline? They will sleep at 9 o'clock. Their diets are restricted. They cannot do things a normal teenage person or a teenage boy will do. These are the sacrifices they have done to get to a position where they can win that World Cup. It is not an easy feat. But when we see that end result, we just think, wow, they play nice. They don't play nice by birth. They have sacrificed a lot to get to that position. So if you want the glory, you have to put in the hard work. There is no other way out of it. So what I'm trying to tell you is, yes, it is going to take time and it should take time. So give it time. Don't try to search for shortcuts during that stage itself. If you search for shortcuts during the stage where your foundation is being built, when you want to revise, then you will start breaking your head. But if you give time and prepare that foundational stage properly, you will start enjoying the revisions. You will start enjoying writing answers. Don't you think now, if I tell you to revise ethics, will you enjoy it or will you see it like a burden? You will enjoy it. And when I tell you to write ethics paper, don't you think that you will have a positive attitude towards writing the paper? Why is this happening? Is because of the efforts that you put in that 15 days to build that foundation. And the same thing happens here also. Let that time and effort be taken for you to prepare that foundation properly. Don't try to be anxious there, or don't try to search for any shortcuts at that point of time. Let it take. You're optional also. Initial first round, when you're preparing the question and answers, let it take time. But once you're done with it and once you come back to revising, you will feel so empowered. You will know that I'm already there in optionals. To get to that feeling, it will take that sacrifice now. So give it that effort. Don't try to search for any shortcuts. Okay. So I will. Did you understand the entire this thing? So from tomorrow we are going to start the class. I have already told you the design, but this is how we are going to go. So for the next 15 days, first we will be doing society, then we will be doing geography, and in the entire 15 days, we are going to do with history. So as I told you, if the class goes on for 4 to 5 hours, the last 1.5 hours will always be reserved for history. Why? As you saw now, though history is also 75 marks, unfortunately it is very vast. So we have to cover a lot of things. So this is how we will be going. Clear with this? So tomorrow we are going to start with society. I want you to come with more energy. I don't want you to come here with an attitude that I've given money so I have to go and sit. Or don't come here because what will sir think if I don't go? Don't come like this. Be excited to learn. Okay, you should be energetic. You should be happy to make mistakes. Are you understanding this? So come with that energy and make sure that you are participating in every discussion. You will get to the same level as you have gotten in GS4. This I can assure. Okay, shall we stop the class? No doubts? Okay, you understood all the 3 sections. How are we going to approach society? How are we going to approach geography? And how are we going to approach history? Okay guys, thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30. Bye. Online guys, if you have any doubts, please leave a message in the Telegram ID. This is my Telegram ID. There may be some delay in my response, but I will definitely respond. Okay, if you have any doubts, please leave a message in my Telegram ID. I'll get back to you. Thank you guys. One second, ma. Let them make a note of this. Thank you guys. Alright online guys, I'll see you tomorrow in the class. I think I have fixed the issue. Online guys, you can go to the website and now check. I think it will more or less work. If it does not work, please leave me a message, but I feel that I just changed the settings. I think it will work now in the portal as well. Anyways, thank you so much. I'll see you in the class. Bye.